What up? What up? We are back. Silver screen breakdowns in the house. Alex in the house. We got Scott in the house. What's going
Hey,
on?
I'm Scott.
I love using the government names.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
curveball.
funny because I'm so not a Scott, you know what I mean? But I am.
Hell yeah. Appreciate everyone who's already up in the live stream showing love. And we're going to get ready to smoke it up. And we've been talking about this one for, I don't know, a week or two now. Super excited. As you guys know, Paid in Full, one of our favorite movies around here. And we did a silver screen breakdown on Paid in Full maybe like 3-4 months ago. At this point, I'm going to throw the link in the chat. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And also go follow us on ssbpod.com. Make sure you are showing the podcast some love. And we'll get that link in the chat for you real quick. And you know what? Let's just bring him out here. We don't need to wait too long to bring him out here. But our man Nelson Tynes is in the building. If you guys got questions about Paid in Full, feel free to throw them in there. And we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Here we go.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What up, Nelson?
Nelly Nell. Welcome
Good
to
evening.
the pod. Man,
Good
how you
evening,
doing,
big
my
man.
brother?
I'm doing swell. You guys?
Doing
Pretty
real good.
man. Pretty good.
Yeah, the weather was nice the last couple of days. It heated up a little bit in LA, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna make everyone jealous. Bunch of Midwesterners and East Coasters. They're freezing their balls off over there. But
yeah, it was cold though. It was cold last week. It was cold though.
Yeah, I just came back from
Before the fourth
SoCal
light.
myself. I was out there in Dago, and it was pretty cold, man. You know, I only brought one jacket, and I was out there like short sleeving, and I was like, I need this jacket. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I just thought of sunny
getting
San
yoked,
Diego.
right?
You know what I mean?
Oh, Diego.
yeah.
Yeah, I think go down there next week. Go check it out, San Diego.
Yeah.
That's the
Love
plan.
SoCal, man. You know what I mean? Is so where are you originally from, Nelson?
Yeah, I was born in Canada, born and raised, born in Nova Scotia. I lived all over Canada though, but then my acting got started in Toronto back in like '95. I did a lot of commercials and stuff. I did some acting before that. Did a bit of theater.
Let's start there.
TV.
Let's start there. So you said you got your first acting gigs in Toronto. So in Toronto's, I would imagine that's the hot spot in Canada because that's it's the big city where all the action's going.
Yeah, and there's a lot of film shot up there, a lot of film and TV. Not just the Canadian stuff, but also a lot of Hollywood films are shot there.
Yeah.
They're relocated there. And Vancouver's a hot spot too. A lot of studios out there.
Oh,
I was in Toronto. I said I'm going to get an agent. Got an agent. I started doing a bunch of commercials, and I started landing commercials really quick. And my agent was like, "Man, like you're getting like a couple commercials, like in the first couple months." And I'm like, hey, "That's cool," but I didn't realize like how many people I was stacked up against.
It's not easy. It's not an easy feat.
I'm like, dum. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I got another one. Great.
Yeah, the
But
beginner's
later on, I
luck.
look back. Yeah,
I know one of your classic commercials was where you were playing the FedEx guy, and you said it was so realistic.
No, wait, Alex.
Oh.
UPS.
Oh, UPS, not FedEx. UPS.
Yeah.
UPS give us money. Yes.
Yeah. That was my first line of dialogue on national TV. My first line of dialogue was that.
Do you remember the line?
I do, Bogart. I do. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Package for Mr. Wilson. That's what it was.
Nailed it.
So people thought I really worked for UPS. I go, no, I'm an actor. It's a commercial. Because I was working for the airline in Toronto, for a major airline up there, and people would see me. I'm pretty low key, and I didn't really tell people that I did acting. I kept low key. A couple guys knew, and then one time in the lunchroom, I remember it came on because it was airing a lot in '96 during the Atlanta Olympics. Remember that? You guys are younger and stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember the Olympics.
Yeah, so I ran a lot, and then I was in the lunchroom. I remember one time working for the airline part-time, and then it came on. This guy way in the back, there's maybe 60 people in there. He said, hey, look, that's Nelson. I was like, yeah, it's me. And they're all like, what are you doing? What's going on? And all these questions and stuff. But yeah, so I did a bunch of commercials. And
What was the first
yeah.
commercial that you remember getting? At least one, maybe where the company was notable.
Nerf. That was the first non-game commercial for Nerf. Yeah, that was the first one I got. It was a basketball player, and I was the shortest guy. I'm 6'1", but I was the shortest guy. And actually, that's another commercial I did basketball for the Grizzlies. I just shot a commercial with them. But the first one we shot in Hamilton. Have you heard of Hamilton, Ontario, between Toronto and Niagara Falls?
I'm aware of Ontario, Canada, because like I'm a big pro wrestling nerd, and just like there's all the little pockets like Alberta and Ontario, and these are all
Alberta, I lived there for
where wrestlers are from, so I'm aware of the places.
Yeah, Calgary. That's where a lot of the wrestlers were from. Calgary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we shot this commercial.
Edmonton, Alberta. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there too for 3 years. That's why I lived in Edmonton before I moved to Toronto. I lived in Calgary before Edmonton. I'm born in Nova Scotia. I lived in New Brunswick. Lived in Guelph, Ontario too, just outside of Toronto for a while. And I've lived all over the place. Saskatchewan for a couple of years.
So, but is it here? First of all, I'm gonna have a series of like just questions that seem normal to me, but they are like dumb Bogart questions. Like, so for example,
bring them on, man. Bring them on. I love them.
Right. Okay. So like, man, you have it in you to withstand the cold then, because I know like all those places you named are like places that get very cold.
Yeah, freezing. Yeah. I played hockey for 10 years, but I never really liked the cold. Although I grew up in it, I still don't really like it. But it's durable for me,
I live in LA now. Now it doesn't matter. Like now, you go there during the summer times when it's not super hot. If you go visit family or whatever.
Yeah. Go during the summer. I do go during the summer, but I don't mind going in the winter because I know I'm only there for like a week or so. Not a problem, right? Not for 5 months out of the year that I got to endure the frigid temperatures. But
so he had the real white Christmases.
Absolutely. So in LA,
dreaming of the white Christmases. They were. It was just snow.
And shout out to Marty, who's out there now. He said it's freezing here now. I bet.
Oh, Marty, hey, my brother Marty. That's how this all happened, guys.
Shout out to Marty, Canada Marty.
Yeah,
Marty, because I was talking to him earlier. He said, can you stay awake? Because it's like after midnight over there.
Oh, okay.
And he's a trooper. My brother's a trooper. And he's my blood brother, too. Not just a brother, but a blood brother.
Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. You guys are brothers for real. So he's Marty Tynes.
He's Marty Smith. We have the same mother. She had me before, and then she got married, and then his father's different than mine. Oh, okay. So I'm like 5 years older than him.
Okay.
Marty, he's the coolest, one of the coolest guys ever. So that's great
Marty
that
cool,
he linked us up. So I said first commercial I shot at Cops Coliseum in Hamilton, the big arena, and then I did a commercial for the Grizzlies. And it's funny, there's a guy, his name's Meglor. His last name is Meglor. He played in the NBA for quite a while. A center, big center. I think he played for Charlotte or something. But he was 17 years old when we shot this commercial in the mid-90s for the NBA Grizzlies. Remember the Vancouver Grizzlies?
Yeah.
And he won with the Raptors a couple years ago. He's on the staff.
Nice. And so he was on the staff when they won.
Yeah, when they won, and he still is with the Raptors now. I got to send him that old commercial because he shot the commercial. He was 17 years old. I was 25. We shot the commercial. He always had a basketball. I said, "Oh, so you're gonna play ball? Yeah, I'm gonna play pro ball." And he was like 6'8" or something, right? 17 years old, just with the basketball. He was serious. And then later on, he'd see me. I'd bump into him randomly. He was playing in the NBA. And then he was playing for real. Now he's got a ring now and stuff. So that's hilarious.
Awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then so I did a series. I did like Sears commercial, then a couple of bank commercials, a few beer commercials. Those are always fun, Alex. Beer commercials. Always a lot of ladies on those.
I bet. Yeah.
Especially in the 90s too, man. Like, it was commercials and television in general was like, geared towards more misogynistic angle. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have the women in bikinis and whatnot, and that was like par for the course in the 90s.
Definitely.
That's true. That's true. And long shoots too. You'd be working like 6 a.m. done at like midnight, working 18
Also,
hours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
so
But it's fun. It's a lot of fun though.
paint a picture for us. Like, so when you're on these different sets, like, you know what I mean, and you're shooting, like you said, it's long hours at times. Like, you know, what are the more fun sets you've been a part of? Like, so, like you just said, the beer commercials were fun.
Yeah, the beer commercials were fun because you got a mix of a bunch of guys, a bunch of women and stuff. It's kind of like a little party scene, and it is like a lot of waiting around until they're shooting, and especially doing commercials, a lot of intricate shots, and you do a lot of takes over and over and over. With film and TV shows, not so much. You'll maybe do, let's say, 4 to 6 takes or something. Commercials, you'll do like 12 or 13, 14 takes for one little thing. Because you have to please the agency, the director, the client. So that everyone's got this, well, we like this, we don't like that. Tell us to stir his coffee like this. No, I don't want to stir this coffee because it'll look like crazy in the commercial. Everyone's stirring coffee. That's from the director's artistic point of view and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I see some crazy, kind of fights going back and forth and stuff.
Over stirring the coffee clockwise or counterclockwise, I bet.
I said shaken, not stirred.
I shot this one commercial for Tim Hortons, I remember. And it was in Hamilton too. And this guy, another actor, he was supposed to come in with the donuts, whatever. I'm stirring the coffee. That's the one I was referring to before. And the director told him, you flip the light switch on, you come in frame, and you're doing whatever you're doing. And then he would do that. And then the director said, okay, don't flip the light switch though, this time. Okay, then he wouldn't flip it. And then he says, okay, flip the light switch. But he didn't hear him. But he told his, I think it was the first AD, to tell him to flip the light switch. And he didn't hear him. So he comes in, and he didn't flip the light switch, right? And then I knew what was coming down because I knew that the actor didn't hear. And this director was crazy. He was just like wild, like off the handle and stuff, right?
He's about to let him have it.
So and then he's told him again, and the actor missed again. He says, hey, you didn't flip the light switch. You walk over here. How hard is to flip the light switch on? Just do it. Flip the light switch on. How can you not do that? It's so baffled. He's yelling at him in front of everybody. And the guy was like, man, and then after the take, I say, hey, listen, I know you didn't hear. It wasn't your fault. You didn't hear him say that. So there's some crazy things that happen. But I haven't had anything too crazy that I can really think of right now. I suppose that really stands out in my mind. And then, go ahead.
I would imagine, like, if I was a director, I would want, like, everyone to method act. So if I was shooting, like, a beer commercial, I'm sure the whole set would be drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're shooting a beer commercial, goddammit. I want you to really feel it.
Drink up, everybody.
Action.
Drinks are on the house.
Right.
Drinks are on the house.
And okay, so let me ask, here's another dumb question. When you're on the set and you're doing like products and stuff, like or food or drinks, for example, like, are the products actually there? Like, if it's a drink commercial, you know what I mean? Is the actual drink there, or are they like doctored up to look good? So it's just like prop drinks.
Yeah,
like
they're doctored up. Let's say if we're doing a beer commercial, you would I think from what I've seen, they'll use real beer, like in the glass and stuff. But we're not getting fed beer though. Like the actors are nothing like that.
Yeah.
There's no beer or anything on set like that. But they may use it as a prop. I haven't worked with a lot of food now that I think of it. Other than the drinks and stuff.
He
but I know
stirred
you
the hell
lack a
out
lot
of
of
that coffee,
food.
though.
What's that?
I say, but you stirred the hell out of that coffee, though. You know?
Yeah. That was real coffee, though. That was real coffee, Bogart.
Yes.
Real coffee.
And real quick, so we got a couple little videos that we're gonna pull up here. First one I want to pull up is your reel. Just of all just a bunch of different things. I thought it was super interesting because I only knew you from Paid in Full, but it was super cool getting to see you in just in other elements. And let's pull that up here.
Yeah, we'll break those down if you want.
Yeah.
By the way, did you get those virus discs I sent you? Do me a favor, don't lose them. If my boss finds out I handed over the electronic plague to your dumbass, I'll have you castrated.
There might be some people watching right now who don't even know what that was in his pocket.
Oh yeah, right. The disc. It's a little dated. That's right, boys. A little dated.
That's true.
Throw it in the chat
2000.
if you have no idea what that was in his pocket.
But you knew Alex. That's pretty good.
I
Alex.
knew. I mean, yeah, come on, 90s. Like, yeah, we were on computers like when I was,
I remember the what is it called? I remember the floppy disk. You know what I mean?
like the bigger floppy disks, not those ones.
Yeah, I remember exactly. I remember the big ones. You know what I mean?
And Song said, "What the fuck was
I remember
that?"
those big ones for sure.
Song, we know that you know what it was. We know you're not an 18-year-old.
Yeah, playing dumb on us, right?
You need them.
Come on.
Just something I'm working on.
Yeah, well, be careful. I don't want you doing anything stupid, like loading your terminal downstairs. You know what I'm saying?
Deux, trois, quatre,
Say.
six. Just brushing up on my French. The bank's thinking about expanding into the Caribbean.
Hey, well, if you guys need some brochures done, nous parlons français ici.
Oh, yeah, oui. All right. So Marvin, you know, what's going on with him?
He keeps getting on my case about cleaning up this house. And he said he's gonna take my baby if I don't stop getting high.
Damn.
Right now, he's probably standing up in a pulpit in Chicago, talking to people about how to get their lives together after he was getting high all night.
I think you need to relax.
Now that's why I like you.
That's why I like you too.
I like you.
On the board, Natalie. I still can't believe you would take out a second mortgage just to buy a BMW. Who the hell are you trying to impress?
Wow, a Beamer. You'll have to take me for a ride sometime.
You know what they say about guys in flashy cars now, huh? Compensating. We all know what goes on in each other's bedrooms. You know, the costumes, the videos, the special sauces. It's all been good. Maybe slightly twisted to begin with, but when it all comes down to it, it's still just sex. Plain and simple. Come on, man, open your eyes. We've got something here. You know, we're not afraid to take chances. We're not afraid to put our balls on the line and throw a little wrinkle into the established fabric every now and then. You get 4 aces, you got a damn good hand. Should be the best hand. You know, it's like the leaders of all the great countries come together. You got world peace, racial harmony, an idealistic world.
All right, so timeline. When
back.
was with Dean Cain there? When was that shot?
That was 2000. I think all of that was 2000, 2001.
Okay,
The
so
Dean
he
Cain
had
thing,
already
other-
done Superman then.
Yeah, he was doing Superman in the 90s.
Yeah.
When I got that gig, I remember they telling me, yeah, you'd be shooting a Dean Cain film, but you're actually doing the scene with him. I was kind of nervous because like he was Superman in the 90s.
Yeah, hell yeah.
On the
That was a
NBC
big
at
show
that
in the
time.
90s.
Yeah, it's a huge show.
Yeah.
So
it was good too.
so
It's
it's
pretty
like-
good.
Yeah, it was. You know, man, it's always trippy. It's still, you can't get over it where you're watching people actors on TV, then you get to work with them. It's still amazing. You know, so
Yeah,
and
that
what
was a
Dean
cool
Cain is
feeling.
known for, he'll give you extra lines and stuff. That's what he did. He started speaking French. I didn't know that he was gonna do that. It wasn't in the script.
And
So I just got to play off of it.
Here, Bogart, dumb question. Like, being that you're from Canada and that's like the second language, like, were you versed at all in French? Like, so
Yeah. I
when
speak.
he
I
was
took it
improvising
for.
with you.
Yeah. Luckily, I speak a bit of French. I took it for 10 years in school.
Oh, okay.
Just because I
Because
might
that
have
was
interest.
cool, man. Like that, it didn't seem like acting. So I figure that's like the best acting when it feels like it's natural, right?
Yeah, and that was improv.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Like
So,
half the scene was improv. We added that, and we just kind of giggled and stuff. And in the blonde was Portia de Rossi. She's Ellen's wife,
Okay.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay.
Portia de Rossi,
Oh,
and then she
okay.
was talking.
yeah, Pete Carroll's sister.
Pete Carroll. What?
We call Pete Carroll Ellen DeGeneres because they look alike.
Yeah,
Oh, do
Pete
they?
Carroll,
Oh, I didn't know that.
well, yeah, Pete Carroll's the head coach of the Seattle
Seahawks. Yeah.
It's an inside joke on our show, like that he
I
looks
saw
like
Pete Carroll live
Ellen DeGeneres.
last weekend or the weekend before. They were playing. Seattle was playing the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
checked that game out at SoFi Stadium. Crazy.
that's
That
right.
place is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Ellen DeGeneres was coaching.
Yeah. So she was. So she was in the scene. She was playing his wife, and then I had a wife back there. She was in the scene with her. I don't think you saw her, but she's there talking to the Rossi character. And then, so that was called The Glow. That originally aired on Fox. That
Awesome.
film. It's a movie of the week on Fox. And then
I remember
what were the other ones?
weeks.
And then the one with me doing choo 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 with the shoe underneath the table. That was a Natalie Cole story that aired on NBC. Robert Townsend was the director. He directed Eddie Murphy's Raw.
Yeah, Robert
And,
Townsend.
Yeah, that's a big name.
Yeah, huge name. So that whole scene was improv. He says, okay, here's the scene. This is what I want you guys to do. And Teresa Randall, she's from Bad Boys. She plays, you probably know Alex because you're a movie buff. She plays Martin's wife, I think. Martin's wife in Bad Boys, right?
She was the one who was going crazy in Bad Boys when she thought
exactly.
She thought he was cheating on her.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's Teresa Randall. She was great to work with too.
And what's that movie called?
Glow.
That was called. Oh, which one?
My bad.
The one we're just talking about with Teresa Randall.
Oh, that was called the Natalie Cole story. It was a true story based on Natalie Cole's life, Nat King Cole's daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
You had to do this thing, Unforgivable.
Pardon me?
You talking about Nat King Cole, the one who sang Unforgivable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that one is still being aired because it's loose.
Unforgettable. There you go. Not Unforgivable.
I know what you meant, though. Yeah. Unforgettable.
I've had a few.
Oh yeah, so they still loop that. That's still being played because of who she was or is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
the legacy of that. So you see that like on the Superstation, the TBS, and other.
I pulled it up just on Google to see, and Pluto TV is one of those ones where you can watch movies for free. They just play the ads. So that Tubi, it looks like it's all over these, even Amazon Prime. So yeah, we're gonna check that out.
Yeah.
And
what kind of current, guys? How's my skin holding up? Huh?
Exactly the same. And our man Crispy in here, he said, "How many movies have you done?"
How many movies? Good question. Probably not a lot. Maybe like 11 or 12.
Okay.
Probably about the same amount of commercials, around 12.
And to us, that's like a million. I mean, I know if we tend amongst Hollywood actors, it might be a lot, but yeah, 11 movies, that's huge.
Yeah, compared to my friends, it's small. They're like, they're getting a lot of work. At least a couple, a couple of my friends.
So, speaking of movies, right? So what takes you to LA, to Hollywood, Tinseltown, what have you? What was the move? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was it your agent was like, hey man, you gotta go out west? And it was what was the deciding factor?
It's funny how you say my agent. I actually ended up letting my agent go at the time because I did move to LA.
Oh.
Because my agent, I had this agent. I was the agent where like all those pieces of work that you saw had this really good agent in Toronto, and she did give me a good rate and everything. And then I talked to her about going to LA. She didn't take me seriously. And she said, "Oh, I thought you." And then I said, "Well, it looks like I'm gonna be going to LA maybe a year later." I say, I've been preparing to do that. She goes, "Oh, you're seriously going?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I thought you were saying that tongue in cheek." I still remember she said that tongue in cheek. I go, "No, I was serious about going to LA." And I heard before you did say that you had connections, even though you said it's tongue in cheek. So she did kind of placate me like the year before.
Yeah, she was trying to
I got
curve
some
you.
connections. You keep doing your thing, and then I was doing my thing, and I got it done. It's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. So you get some connections. Well, she said, yeah, but I thought it was tongue in cheek. I didn't think you were really going. It's like,
It's funny
yeah, I'm
because
going.
tongue in cheek is such an industry thing to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really pretentious and stuff. But she
Yeah.
was a good agent, and as long as it lasted, you know, I got a lot of work through her and stuff. And she
She was
was
trying to
looking out for
pigeonhole
me.
you then to a degree. Like she wanted to keep you with the little local gigs and like didn't want you to spread your wings, you know what I'm saying? Where her reach wasn't
Yeah,
far enough, you know what I mean?
yeah. Sometimes they get, you know, they get territorial. You know, if you go to LA, she's not getting the income out of the parts I'm doing in Toronto. And the reason why I want to leave, excuse me, was because the ceiling is always so high in Toronto with a local actor. You can get great stars, getting great to get a good start, but the cachet value of having a rep out of Toronto is not the same as having representation out of Hollywood.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can have a crappy agent in Hollywood. It still looks good outside of LA. You know?
Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean,
Right.
like I'm from the Bay Area, and like me and a bunch of people that I grew up in this area, you know, we made music and put it out independently and whatnot. But like, you know, growing up, like we still went to LA and tried to get deals. Like you couldn't sit around where I was at and be like, okay, someone's gonna hear me. You know what I mean? You had to go to where the action was. You know what I mean? And where the eyes and the ears were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to swim where the sharks are. You know, you got to enter the arena. So Metro.
Yes,
you know,
I like that. I like all those analogies right there.
Yeah, it's funny because you have some people. Oh yeah, this one girl I remember. She was an actress, and she moved back from Burbank, moved back from Albuquerque to here. I remember she told me that. Oh, yeah, I worked with some amazing actors in Albuquerque. I go, they weren't amazing. It's deadpan, right? I go, if they were amazing, they'd be here in LA. No, but they're amazing. No, they would have at least the business acumen as an actor to get their ass in LA and compete. They cannot be amazing.
Yeah.
There's no way. She actually ended up agreeing with me. I see what you're saying.
It's like in football too, man. Like in football, like I had a bunch of homies that played in high school and they were like big compared to me because I'm a little fucker, you know what I mean? They get to college and those motherfuckers are huge. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
right?
Like, you was a big fish in a small pond. Now you get to the big old ocean, and that's not even, you know, that's not even the big ocean for real. You know what I mean? Like I can imagine Hollywood. I mean, you know what I mean? That's where the best of the best gotta go because where all the activities at, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Even with agents out there, I mean, their address is pretty important, right? Where their business is. Because I mean, if you're like in the valley or something, you're not really gonna get taken as seriously as, you know, just be in the middle of Hollywood.
If you're in Beverly Hills, off of Santa Monica Boulevard or Wilshire.
Yeah.
Some big agencies in those spots and stuff, you know.
And they got, they got a nice car. Representation is a lot, right? I would imagine in Hollywood, because it's like if I wanted someone to represent me, I want him rolling up like, you know, I want him rolling up in a nice car, looking like he's making money, that he'll get me gigs to make me money. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, but then you got to filter through that because, you know what I'm saying? Because some of it could be facade, right? Because, you know what I mean? Right. It's Hollywood.
And you can, the age thing, I've gone through, I think 8 different agents total, like in my career, right? And when you leave, it's like a marriage. You're breaking up. It's tough to do, but then, you know, if what's pulling you that's bigger than that, then you just got to cut it off.
Yeah.
As you move on, right? And then sometimes you can be with a small like boutique agency where they be able to get you in to a certain level, actually. And then you could be with a good agency. They may not be get you in because they have all these other bigger clients. So it can be a catch-22. But basically, I've always said this: if you're good, there's way more roles out there than there are good actors. That's why you see a lot of bad actors, because you can't keep up. There's not that many good actors. Acting isn't easy. And I lost my thought, but
you're talking about you're talking about, like, you know, it's a catch-22 sometimes. You have the bigger agencies, you know what I'm saying, that, and they're big and they're grande, but it's, you know, but it's also saturated because they got, you know, all the clients come to them versus, you know, the smaller agencies that, you know, it might be a little more quaint, but but it's concentrated in as far as opportunities that they can get you. Right. You know what I mean?
So I was going to say, all that being said, I was going to say that it really comes down to the talent of the actor. If you're good, no matter what age you're with, you're going to continuously get work. You will. And then it's kind of up to you as an actor to, once you get good and you're getting offered roles and opportunities, and you can say yay or nay to that. And if you're good, then it doesn't really, then the agency is working for you, really. Instead of, a lot of actors look at the agency as the agency is bigger than you, but really you hired the agency to rep you.
Yeah, they work for you. It's not the other way around, right?
Right. So if you're good, you will get continuous work. Good actors are kind of hard to, hard to come by, really. And if you just talk to any film director that's casting, like let's say a film that's non-union, most of the actors auditioning are horrible. I'm not saying that I'm amazing either, but the thing is, this is what it is. I've been on the other side. I co-produced a film called Damaged Goods with a buddy of mine, Todd Hughes, and we're like, most of these actors can't even use, but we got to like pick someone. And it's great being on that other side. And then you see your competition, and like, let's say out of 20 actors that come in, you got about 4 that are good, 16 aren't good. And you got about, okay, out of the 4, which ones look the part? And then out of the last 2, which one can take direction of how the director sees the vision of the film? And then when I started landing roles, I was asking directors once they got hired. I said, well, why did you pick me? And they said, oh, because you take direction. And then I started auditioning. I was just, I make a choice, and then not be too hung up on it. And then I said, okay, let's see how the director wants me to do it, because I don't know the whole script. They just give me these sides, right? And then once I started doing that, oh, you want it done this way? Okay, do it like this and that. And then I start changing, and they're like, yeah. Okay, good. See ya. And then you never know what's going to happen. And then you get a call, right? If you get it or not, right?
Yeah. I've always heard that is one of the most important things in Hollywood, being able to like work well with others and take direction. Because I mean, you gotta do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta do.
People gotta like you.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. If you relate it to like sports, right? Like the coach for movies would be the director. You know what I mean? And like, what do coaches like? They like, they like talent, and even more, they like the talent that's coachable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you're gonna go out there and win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're in Hollywood, right?
And what year was that? When did you make it?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
I was going back and forth from beginning at 2002. Then I was here solid more like 2005. I was in Toronto, then here.
So when did you film?
And then I stopped acting for years, and then I've been doing some things recently, but some other things. What's that?
When did Paid in Full actually film? Because I think it released in 2002.
Yeah, released in 2002, which was a year later. Supposed to be released in 2001. We shot the summer of, I remember it was August. It was hot. I remember shooting some interiors in Toronto, and then we shot. I remember shooting 2 months off, and we shot again in Harlem, the exteriors and everything. Let's see.
Nice. So,
I remember when I shot. Actually, going back to the Natalie Cole story. Okay, I shot some scenes in August. Oh, and by the way, Paid in Full was directed by Charles Stone III. Remember those Budweiser commercials? What's up, wasabi?
Yeah,
right. So he's the one who did Paid in Full.
If you're like, hey Marty, pick up the phone. He picked the phone.
Yeah.
Marty.
Yeah, the bastardized "What's up," right? Yeah. So I remember shooting in August, and then they say, "Okay, great, Nelson. I'm gonna see you." I still talk to Charles every now and then. Now, see you. We don't know the dates yet, but you're gonna be shooting sometime in October in New York, and they had to get all the paperwork and stuff for the visa and everything, right?
Yeah, and you're in Toronto, so that's just the.
I'm in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 15-minute flight.
Yeah, love it.
And then the Natalie Cole story is I get that like a month later. I shot that in October, but what happened was, I remember auditioning, and my agent said, "Hey, you're gonna get looks like you're gonna get the Natalie Cole story with Robert Townsend." He likes your audition, everything.
And you're juiced when you get this.
Yeah, because these are like my new roles for me. I did a lot of commercials. I did some student films, but then these were like big things, right?
Yeah,
Robert
and then
Robert Townsend. It's on NBC. This is based on a
like
true story.
Eddie Murphy and stuff, working with him. So that I know I got some chops that is good enough to be on the mainstream, right? And I remember they're saying, yeah, we don't know the dates yet, and I didn't know the dates for Paid in Full for the rest of shooting that, but that's precedent because I already shot. So then I get the date for the Natalie Cole story, and they go, okay, you can shooting. I remember it was a Monday, such and such date. And then I go, great. I got off the phone with my agent, and then I said, oh, wait a minute. Then I found out a few days before I'll be shooting Paid in Full. I was just waiting for all the visa stuff to go through, and it was the same weekend. It was on the weekend, and then I'll fly back Sunday night, and then I shoot Monday.
And you are going to be in New York too.
Right. So I called up my agent back. Hey, just so you know, I'm going to be in New York. I'm flying back Sunday, but I'll be good for Monday. She goes, oh, I don't know about that. And this is like about 10 days before or something, right? And she goes, let me call Townsend and see what he says. And then she calls Townsend. The Townsend is, okay. He got back to me that then he had to call Natalie Cole. They got back to, and then it happened in 5 minutes. She called back in 5 minutes, right? And then she says, no, Natalie Cole's a little worried about you, that you'll be tired and stuff. They may get someone else. And then I did the whole reading with them, with the whole cast, with Townsend, Diane Carroll, Natalie Cole, and everything. I did all that stuff. It was all ready to go.
The actual Natalie Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she
met her and stuff. Yeah.
Because I was going to ask.
I met her and stuff. She knew me.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was she there like consulting the whole thing? But yeah, okay, continue.
Well, she was in LA when these calls were going down with my agent and me, right?
Yeah.
But she did come for a reading. Then they fly back and forth, and then what was it? And then, so I said, no, I'll do it. I'm not going to be tired. I'll fly back. Don't just call them back. Say that things are cool. She goes, okay, all right. She calls back. She calls like 3-4 minutes later. She calls me back. And she says, okay, you're good. Just make sure you get enough rest. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I got this. Yeah.
Yes.
So I ended up shooting that barely by the skin of my teeth. It's funny because I was flying out of Toronto to do Paid in Full on that Friday, right? Flying to New York, and I just check in, and then I see Natalie Cole checking in to go to LA. And I'm like hiding from her because I didn't want her to actually see me. I guess she was in Toronto. I don't know when the call was, but I didn't want her to see me. So I'm like hiding so she didn't want to see me. I like turned around like, I don't want her to see me. Because she might have second thoughts again, right?
Yeah.
And then,
I mean,
it's an hour flight.
Exactly. And then so that's what I saw. Yeah, so I flew down there. Then things worked out. I did the scene and stuff. And that was funny. That was when I first signed. We still get into that scene, the scenes I did and stuff, Paid in Full. But I will say this, in case you forget, that was the first time I signed my first autograph too. It was after we shot Paid in Full that Sunday. I was staying at not the DoubleTree. What's that? Oh, Radisson. And then I was Sunday morning I was checking out, and then I was getting breakfast at the cafeteria. The guys, I said, yeah, I'm flying back to Toronto. Oh, what you doing in New York? This total New Yorker, right? Oh, just shooting a film and stuff. She says, yeah, what's the name of it? That's called Paid in Full. I don't know. I didn't know much about it, like how big it was going to be or anything back then.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I've got, I'm in a few scenes and stuff. I'm not a major player or nothing, but I'm in there. She says, man, that's amazing. Like, can I have an autograph? It's like, yeah, I thought it was joking, right? You want an autograph, really? So, anyway, yeah, I'm flying back. I kind of changed the subject. She said, hold on a second. Are you going to give me your autograph or not? I was like, you seriously want my autograph? He's like, yeah. He's getting a little testy. He's like, all right. In his New York accent, right? I can't do New York accent. And then I said, all right. I mean, get a pen and paper? Yeah, he was all excited and stuff. So I wrote to his name and stuff and everything. And then I would have known that it was like going to be this type of film, like a cult following and all this stuff. And the guy was right. He was right.
Yeah.
You never know.
That story's huge in New York.
They're larger than life figures, man. The real life people that story was based on. And
true.
Total culture shifters. You know what I mean? Like just shifted culture and in every way you could imagine now for people like me growing up too, for real. You know what I mean? In music, in fashion. I mean, like I grew up wearing Timberlands. You know what I mean? I never even heard of them. It was just that everyone wore Tims, but it was because of these kids from New York that blew it up. And then all the rappers and everyone followed suit. But these were the trendsetters, from the streets on up.
Yeah, you grew up with that. You knew about that story, right? About the
Hell yeah.
story.
I didn't even become aware of this story till I was older. But like, what's funny is like it was already instilled in me because of like rappers imitated these guys. Like, like there was an actual rapper that called himself AZ, even though the character AZ, the real AZ, what I'm saying, he actually did rap and this and that. But in the 90s, there was a rapper that called himself AZ. You know what I mean? And there was this. I didn't know that these were like callbacks. You know what I mean? That these were homages in that sense. You know what I mean? Even all the way down, like I said, the Tims and the Pendletons, and you know what I mean? They're just they did it all early. Even the Dapper Dan, you know what I mean? They made him famous before all the rappers were using it. It was all the D-boys. You know what I mean? In the streets,
guys who had the money.
Yeah, there was a guy that had the money. I was about to say.
Hell yeah. For me, I remember seeing that movie in 2005 and it got put on Netflix. So I didn't see it right when it came out. And I'm just scrolling through all the Netflix stuff and Wood Harris, because The Wire, remember the Titans, like all those movies that he was in. I was like, what the hell is this? Mekhi Phifer's in it too. Cameron's in it too. Like, what is this? And so I watch it. And I must have been zoned out in the beginning where it says based on a true story or whenever they say it. I think it said at the beginning and the end. I missed that whole part. Really into the movie, really into everything. I go to the barbershop within a couple days of watching it. And the guy is from Queens. And he knows all about this story, because he's a lot older than me at that time. He's probably in his 40s and I'm like 20 at that time. And they're talking about the whole story. And I'm like, sounds like this movie that I just watched recently. And I think that they had watched it on Netflix and they're like, yeah, we're talking about the real story that happened in real life. And just wow. Because it does seem like it's, a Hollywood movie and everything. And you find out it's based on real life. And then you find out some parts are even a little bit crazier that they had to make a little tamer, for the movie. So
yeah.
Was the I know the guy the real AZ, I know he was on set, during some of the shooting. Did you ever see that guy on set?
Good question, but I missed him.
Okay.
I remember when I got on set, he was on set on Friday. I actually went on Friday. And I remember Charles saying that he was on, he was on set yesterday. I shot on a Saturday, I remember.
Yeah.
And so I missed him. I did want to meet him. And then, so I didn't see him on that Saturday.
So you're playing not just a New Yorker, right? But you're playing a kid from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? And from the streets. Like, did you have to talk to people how to verb shit, or was it in the script? Like, yo, we ain't.
No, you know what? That particular scene. Okay, first I'll say this. So they're casting up in Toronto as well, right? So this particular film wasn't just an American film; it was Harlem specific.
Yeah.
So there was an issue with accents and stuff, and I don't sound like I'm from there. So and I had to improv some stuff. I remember. And then they never used it because I talked too much. There's the scene where we're bottling cocaine and stuff, and talking to wood and stuff. I had this dialogue, and it wasn't. You'll see the scene, but you don't see the entire scene because they had to edit that out because I wasn't authentic enough to be in that as far as casting purposes of my accent.
Was it the one? Was it the one where you guys were outside the club, right before he goes and meets the dude who gets out of prison, Calvin?
Yeah, I remember that scene. No, it wasn't that one. Okay. It was when we're sitting inside at Aunt Rose's. Aunt Rose, remember? I knock on the door. I come in.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I said, "Who's that?" "Oh, it's Wedge. Let him in." And Aunt Rose answers the door. She lets me in.
Yeah.
So we're bottling the cocaine and stuff kind of early on.
Yeah.
His operation.
Yep.
And then when he starts, gets the kickstart. Gets the kickstart without the real kickstart, but get the kickstart going.
Yeah.
So is that so? Like I could speak like minimally, which they want for the integrity of the film, and then even Charles even had an assistant. His name was Jason Black, I think his name was. Great guy, and he was from Harlem, and he even assisted Charles too, because I think Charles is from Philly.
Oh yeah, and they got a real specific accent over there too.
Yeah, so they had to get, so it's kind of hardcore. So it wasn't just me; it was anyone like outside of like Harlem. If they wouldn't sound like authentic, they wanted to make it as authentic as possible. Yeah. So what was that?
No, I said Harlem.
Harlem. Yeah. See, I can't do that, guys. And I didn't have enough time to even practice, really. So I get the part. I shot quickly, and then I was off for like those 2 months, but I didn't.
All day.
That was beyond my accent capabilities back then.
So, yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about Paid in Full, but we want to pull up this scene, at least the most iconic one that we talked about. We broke down.
We're referencing this scene before we even met you, Nelly Nell.
I know a lot of people do. Yeah, you saw me as Nelly Nell earlier this morning on that street. Like, who's that? What you eating? What do you mean? I go, he doesn't know who I am. So I didn't put.
I totally forgot. I totally forgot your name.
We're stoners, man. Yeah. Hey, Hustler literally writes everything down or has like spreadsheets or shit. You know what I mean?
To remember ever get it. And we got a couple questions in the chat. We're gonna get to those real quick after this scene though. But one of the classes.
B. Man, fuck this me in my motherfucking face like that, man. Look away
fuck this nigga. Turn around, matter of fact. Fuck this nigga, B. Turn around, move up. Stay still, motherfucker. Get your ass out of here, motherfucker. Hey, yo, B. Hey, yo, hey, man, that's what the fuck gonna happen to anybody just
that away, man.
Right. But that's what the fuck gonna happen to anybody who disrespect this family, man. Me and you as family, I'm not gonna let that shit slide, B. If I hear something going on, I'ma handle it, B. Because niggas not gonna disrespect me. My niggas feel the same way, B. And that's what's gonna fucking happen to anybody who disrespects you, B. I love you, B. Anything, B. Let me know, man.
All right, baby.
All right?
Word more.
Look out, let this nigga get in the whip, man. Let me know, man.
You got it, baby.
Steered the chain, B.
Fuck up out of here.
You got your man. You shining now, nigga. You good now. You good now, nigga. You ice, nigga. We good.
Yeah, but they never take the chain off. Definitely. Once you get shot, it's like you're just out of scene. Nobody follows you or anything. So yeah, the chain definitely did not get snatched.
No, it did. It did. If you watch back in slow motion, because in real time you can't see, but in slow motion you can see he does rip it off. But you got to slow it way down. I looked at it, 10 times, and then okay, yeah, this is what these guys were talking about on that one, on the one channel.
Oh man,
how many takes you think you did that scene?
Oh, that scene we did. I remember we did about 7 takes. I got my hand because it was gravel and stuff. That was one of the hardest scenes I've ever done, even though it looks kind of easy. That was one of the hardest things that I had to do because what happened, we got there early in the morning. I remember Charles saying, okay, we're going to add this scene in. This is what's going to happen. We got to figure out what you're going to say. I had a couple of different lines of dialogue. It wasn't coming off. And then he says, hey, say that, see if that works. And then, okay, we like that. Okay, we like that. And then I remember when we went to block. Do you know what blocking is when you do a scene? You guys? So when you block, you kind of, when you rehearse the scene, so you know the movement of where the scene, so the director and the DOP knows
because there's markers,
basically where you're going to move, right?
You're supposed to be standing and how you move it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, and when you, almost all the other times I've worked, well, that was kind of still early on, but I did some student films. So when you're blocking, it's you kind of you're going through the motions, but you're going through the motions, but your emotion is not really full tilt. So I was kind of half-ass acting, I guess, through, which a lot of times
you're doing like a walkthrough.
Like a walkthrough, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I did that, and then like the camera was intense, wood's really good. And they're like, they're like, what are you doing? I was like, well, we're blocking, right? Yeah, but dog, you don't go hard all the time. We're blocking. Yeah, we're doing it, but you got to go hard. And the camera's like, yeah, all right. And then Charles is like, and Charles is kind of laid back, the director. He's like, Yeah, Nelson, like you gotta pick it up. I go, yeah, well, I thought we're blocking. Okay, I'll pick it up. But then from there, what was bad was the pressure's on me now, right? The pressure's on me. Even Jason Block is like, come on, man, this is your scene. You gotta like, come on, pick it up. You're good. You're good though. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Oh, and I should tell you this too. There's about 90 to 100 people behind the camera, behind the director.
Oh, yeah,
Just people in the neighborhood. Harlem.
Yeah.
That's Harlem, right? Yeah. So you can't tell, oh, yeah, you got to clear. No, but they were quiet and stuff. They were good, but they're just like, you ain't going to move them. So we did take, so it's like we're doing a theater in front of all these people.
Nice.
And then I wasn't getting it. I just wasn't getting it. And then we did a take. And he said, no, you're not quite there. And I'm thinking, well, I thought that take was good. Okay, but it's not. Yeah, I got it. We did. And by about the fifth take, I nailed it. And they said, yeah, you got it. That was a good take. We got it. That's good. And let's do a couple more. And then I nailed it. And then I nailed it. And it was good. Because I remember maybe the third or fourth take, Charles was saying, and it's hard for directors to give certain actors direction. You have to be careful what you tell them. Because it can get the actor in their mind and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then they could have a worse scene. So he's like, you're feeling like three emotions at once. Like three emotions, like, oh man. Three emotions, like what are those emotions? I'm thinking, Charles, yeah, you're scared, but you can't show that you're too scared because you gotta make money for your family and stuff. You gotta eat too. But you've had enough nonsense, but you don't want to get killed either. So you gotta show some fear, but not too much fear, but you gotta stand up for yourself too at the same time. I was like, okay, I got this. And I was thinking, I'm kind of shit in my pants. I'm like, I better get this. And then, so it was a hard scene, but I did pull it off finally. And Cameron's a really good actor. I know he's a rapper and stuff, but he was really good. And Wood's always intense. I did, those other 4 scenes with him. Always pretty intense. Low-key guy, but just his acting's really good.
Yeah, I was just about to ask because Cameron, he's a real character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like outside of music, like once you get them cameras on him, he was always like one of those a flamboyant cat. And when I watched that movie for the first time, see, I didn't watch that thing till like 2009. You know what I mean? So it had been out for a good minute.
For a while.
Yeah, and like that's what's funny because I was aware of the real story though because there was like already documentaries put out, and then I was like, and then someone told me like, they made a movie about that. You know what I mean? I said, word. And then my girl, she was like, yo, my sister got that DVD. Remember back in the days, everybody had DVD collections. You know what I mean? And you had your gangster movie, section. You know what I mean?
That's what Alex has too, I think. I saw his library.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and because and I was amazed that I had slept on this movie for so long because this is some gangster ass shit. And even whether or not that they doctored the story here and there, I mean that's Hollywood, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, that shit was well done. And Cameron kills it. You know what I mean?
Oh, he nailed everything, every scene.
Yeah, hell
every
yeah.
Scene.
And
I watched it. Oh, sorry.
Who was the coolest out of all three of those guys? Out of Wood, Harris, Cameron, Mekhi Phifer, like any of them just cooler around the set than the others?
You know what? I got to know Mekhi outside of it as opposed to Cameron. I did one scene with Wood. Okay. I did work a few days with Wood because I did those other scenes with him. So that was more like just business than just acting. So it wasn't a lot, but I got to talk to Mekhi. I would bump into him here and there in Toronto and LA. And I never saw him in New York, but I've talked to him on a personal level. He's a really nice guy.
That's cool.
Awesome.
I would say him just because I know him more on a personal level. And we're not buddies or nothing, but I got to talk to him outside of being on set,
Yeah.
Awesome.
But being on set, the overall, it's great being on set with all those guys though. And Charles is great. Charles Stone.
How big do they do it because I know when there's different actors on set, there's gonna be different treatment. You know what I mean? So what was the food like and all that when they were around? You know what I mean?
Oh, we all like the same food. Maybe the extras ate different food or the background maybe, but
yeah.
As far as the actors, I find all the sets I've been on, all the actors eat the same thing. When I worked with Dean Cain, Wood, we all ate from the same plate, so to speak.
Okay.
Maybe Tom Cruise doesn't. Right?
Well, because Harlem got some good ass food, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
don't remember what they catered. A lot of these sets they catering a pizza a lot. Usually in the 10th hour, 11th hour, it's usually pizza. Almost like on every set, it's pizza. But if dinner, it's usually catered pretty good though. It all depends on the budget, right? But I've been on most of the stuff been on. It's usually pretty good. It's usually pretty good.
What and like big as opposed to like the when you filmed the Nat King Cole joint, was this a bigger production, like the Paid in Full?
Paid in Full, it was Miramax, so it was a sizable production, but it still wasn't a big production for what Miramax does.
Okay,
right.
And that was Charles's first feature. He told me that just a few years ago. I didn't know that was his first one. And Drumline was the second.
Yeah.
You know how big Drumline got? Drumline with Nick Cannon.
Yeah,
that first one. So that was his baby. His baby was really Drumline. That's what he was telling me. But he kind of hit his mark. But that was his second film, so he did pretty good for
That's
a second
crazy.
film.
Nice.
I remember I watched I cut the line producer, one of the producers I remember, in LA. I watched the film Paid in Full off of Beverly, somewhere on Beverly Boulevard, a private production, a private screening room, kind of like the one that you show on your thing here, the silver screen.
Yeah,
kind of one of those rooms. I invited some friends and stuff, and so we booked it out and watched Paid in Full there for the first time. And I heard that the day before, Mackay's people were there.
Ooh.
I think it was Mackay Pfeiffer. I think she said that she went up for him, and he brought some people to that. So that was nice of her to do that. And then I said, but I got to see the experience of being on a feature film, because I did movies of the week, right?
Yeah.
On NBC and Fox and stuff, and then do the big theater thing. So I went to the Magic Johnson theaters over on Crenshaw there. I went to the Magic Johnson theater. I caught the film there.
Awesome.
It's funny, I was sitting beside these two girls. They're laughing at the scene when I got shot, but they didn't know what they were sitting beside me. It was kind of funny. I thought about saying something, but I didn't say anything. They probably would have freaked out. They probably would have believed me though. But you know what? It's funny because being in LA, you can watch a movie in LA, then you can walk out of the movie with the actor be walking beside you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens to people.
Yeah.
I mean, hair and makeup, stuff like that too. That, you know what I mean? Getting into a role, you know what I mean?
Especially because there's only so many, there's only a few Denzels and Leos, right? I mean, besides that, all these working actors, I mean, there's like normal people, right?
It's crazy. When you think about back in the days, like when I was growing up and I'd watch like ET or, or what were they, Entertainment Tonight, whatnot. And, you know what I'm saying? You see all the Hollywood actors with the paparazzi everywhere now. Or back then. And then like, you know what I'm saying? These are like Tom Cruise and Denzel, Johnny Depp, these mega stars. You can't get near them. And nowadays stars are just giving you like all kind of access if they're like social media friendly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like these you know what I mean? Like I remember at one point Will Smith out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's all over social media. Remember this like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was one of those guys in the 90s where it's like you can't get near guys like that because they're just so huge. You know what I'm saying? Or at least
and that's kind of social media, you're saying.
Yeah, but now it's social media. You get like direct access to whatever they choose to show us. You know what I mean? Because before you get nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just what you see on the screen.
That's what you see on the screen. Yeah.
Then what's this, Marty?
So this is Minnesota Marty over here, and he said,
it's not my brother.
No, and he said, starter sit, movie or series, which is more enjoyable?
Good question. I picture myself doing like going from movie to movie to movie, film to film to film. That's like when I think about me as an actor, I think about just doing different films. The series, I think it'd be kind of cool to develop a character like that over a series, but I don't know, the series, you don't know what they're gonna. A lot of them, the series, the episodes aren't even written.
Right.
So you don't know what you're
like
getting yourself into.
Maybe the first season's written, but not even, right? A lot of times aren't they kind of
not even. It's the first like 3 episodes are written or something.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
sign a
so
contract, you don't know what you're signing up for, really. I don't know. You
yeah, 'cause
laughing?
they
This
could
day and
just
age,
stop
all the stuff
production at
going
one
on.
point.
What's that?
Yeah, because they could just stop production at one point and be like, oh, they canned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that, and then but like with the film, you know what they do when you get a part, even the parts they did with the movies of the week. You say you get the role, so you got it, and then you see a script on your doorstep, or if you live in an apartment, they'll just throw the script. Like in the movies, you see the paper boy throws the paper. Pretty much that's
Yeah.
what they do with the script. Hopefully, no one takes it, but no one's really gonna take script. Like, who? Hey, your neighbor's gonna steal the script? No. But they'll say, yeah, the script is downstairs. It's there. Pick it up, read it, and then from beginning to end, you have to read the script, so you know what's going on, right? And there's some safety in that. I like that. You know what's going on.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You
And
know,
you can
so
kind of
it's
like
good.
when
It's
you're
interesting.
reading it, you're kind of seeing the movie already. When you're reading, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but these episodes, you don't know. And they're throwing all these wrenches in these things now, all these different storylines, right, Alex?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of crazy storylines. I mean, one show that I liked was Entourage, and I don't know how much that was actually like. I mean, I know it's loosely based off of Hollywood, and they're like writing their own kind of story over there, but that's the only connection I really had to Hollywood as far as like knowing behind the scenes. But even in
Right.
there, everything would just seem like it was off the rails. It was like one day to the next. A lot of times they didn't know if they were going to get the movie, or like something's coming up, maybe stopping them from get the movie. And then the director doesn't even know who he is. And all
Yeah,
this
exactly. Use different directors and stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I see myself going from film to film and playing different characters like that. So I'm not opposed to series. People say, a lot of actors say, I would never do a soap opera. Well, maybe you would, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe, may not be first on the list, but it's still work.
Steady work, right? Those soap operas, those are like 5 days a week, like type thing, right?
Yeah, they don't do a lot of takes. It's almost like it's live or something. Because it's kind of happening on the day, right? And they air it.
I mean,
Well, I
just
mean,
pumping them out
I
so
don't know, air on the
fast.
same day, but yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be
So,
like you'll have like a set like for a soap opera, and it's like in a building, and it's like there's all the soap operas are being shot there. There's hella sets. You know what I mean?
yeah. I know
Cranking them out.
there's a studio up by me. I know that there's just one or two soap operas they shoot up there. Not Young and the Restless. I know Young and the Restless shot in CBS. That's over in West Hollywood. I'm more on the east side of Hollywood, so there's other studios over there. I think it's like, I don't know, One Life to Live or something like that, or one of those ones. I don't really. General
That's
Hospital,
crazy.
maybe. I don't know.
Those joints have been going on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those characters, it's like the same actors for decades, right?
Yeah.
Like some of those. I mean, there's a lot of day players. They're in and out, but there's a lot of the main ones. They seem to stick it through for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, they do stints.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I know some people, like you said, you like playing a character and then moving on, go to the next character. Kind of crazy playing. These people may be playing the same characters for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do both, right? You're series regular, and then you're shooting films here and there too.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
And Song said, what are you working on now? He said, what's your schedule like in the near future?
I just shot a couple little indie films, barely indie, so kind of almost like a spec film with this fellow actor friend of mine. He's got all the camera equipment, and he's writing these scripts and he's directing. And I just finished acting in the second one, and then he edited the first one. I'm gonna do a screening with the other actress and him after Christmas. And then the one he's editing, one that we just finished shooting a couple months ago. That one's called The Landscape. So I did work with another actor. So that stuff is for my demo reel. But I did some good acting on there. And I shot a music video. I don't know if I showed you that music video I shot a year and a half or 2 years ago.
Oh,
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was dope, actually.
Oh yeah, you saw. Yeah, I don't
I saw that.
music videos typically, but and I did some TV show a little over a year ago. But I don't have an agent, but I'm gonna get an agent next year coming up. Probably my 9th agent, finally, and then and go from there. We'll see what happens. I've been here so long, and then there's like work in Canada too, of course, and then here, and so we'll see how the world opens up for me.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got a question.
Hold on, real quick. Hold that question because I've been waiting to get this one in for.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, "What was your biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?"
Man, David, come on. My biggest challenge. How did I overcome it? Biggest challenge. Well, I would say, okay, I don't know if it's my biggest challenge, but I remember, and I actually do remember, I started speaking when I was 3, I think. I started late speaking. I used to stutter. And I still stuttered a little bit, but nothing like I did when I was a kid. And I ended up doing like public speaking and kind of getting over it. And then of course I'm acting. So, it's, and I was working, thinking about doing a podcast. So I'm using my voice a lot, even though I had a stuttering issue when I was a kid. And so that was kind of a hurdle, a big hurdle. And then I was asked to do certain things with public speaking. It's like, how can I word this? So there's certain words that I couldn't say, or I'd stumble. We all stumble over certain words, but then I figured out a lot of it, the stuttering has to do with breathing. Once you get your breathing, connect with your voice and stuff. And that was a big challenge for me, I guess. I like to think of something bigger, but I just moving around.
Be your career, you know what I mean?
Bogart, I'll just say real quick, moving around as a kid, I've lived in like 12, 13 places. That was kind of hard. I look in hindsight, as great as your personality to move around and you're in new environments. But I remember going to school for the first day, I'm the new kid, in first grade, I'm a new kid in third grade, the new kid again in sixth, I'm a new kid in 8th, 10th, it's just like, and overcoming that, like everyone's just staring at you, no one knows who you are, and looking at you and stuff. And so being the new kid kind of was hard, even though I came from a big family, but still you're in class and no one knows you. But it comes in handy with when you're performing and stuff, when you're auditioning especially, right? Yeah. You audition, especially for commercials. Even if you do a good audition, you got people like, even if it's funny, they go, that was funny, okay. All right, next. I didn't get that, right? You got a producer, you got a director, you got a cameraman, HC, you got a client. They're all just staring at you. You're acting a fool for a commercial. Even for a beer commercial, just do something. You're at a party. You got to make stuff up off the top of your head. And then in the back of your mind, thinking, I'm just like an idiot. And the next thing you know, you get the role because you act like a fool. And that's when they want to see you act all fun and foolish, because a lot of commercials are like that, right? But when you watch a commercial, it looks kind of normal. But when you're actually acting like that, it's abnormal. You're over the top and stuff, right? You've seen those commercials. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Or just any of Nicolas Cage's movies. That's his style, actually. Is overacting.
I'm Castor Troy. The face off.
I want to take his face off.
That was a good film, though. I like that one.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it was probably because he was so over the top in it too.
Yeah. Travolta was good at it too.
Oh yeah.
And do you have a question, Bogart?
Yeah,
I wanted to just elaborate a little bit what you just said. Like, so you kind of took, some of the things that you had to overcome, what I'm saying, and not only overcome them, but you didn't know that was going to actually fuel, what I'm saying, your approach in the field that you became your career. You know what I mean? Like having this performance anxiety from, constantly being moved around and having to meet this new crowd of kids all the time. But then it's the same thing, like when you go and audition for a role or, or a gig, whatnot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's new people looking at you. It's funny. I was asked the question the other, I think Damon, the guy I've been doing these films with, he's another actor. He says, Nelson, when you do a scene with a famous person, is it any different than doing a scene with like an actor that's not famous, just like a regular scene? Mm-hmm. I said, actually, you know what? It's not. When you're in the moment talking, it's not. But before you're doing the scene, it is. Like with Dean Cain, it's like, oh, that's Superman. It's kind of like I was kind of nervous. But when you're actually acting and in the scene, he's just like another character.
Yeah.
And then you're done. He's like, okay, I got that off. That was a pretty good take. Okay, now you get warmed up. you feel pretty good. But before, there's a difference. But when you're in the scene, there's no difference at all. Not at all. You know, as far as maybe talent, yeah, but you don't, in the scene, you're not thinking that he's Dean Cain. You're thinking
you're
the
just
character
in
and
the
what you're
zone.
doing. Yeah, and you have to deliver, because every time you mess up, because it's film, it's like more money. So the
Right.
pressure's on as well. Like, you just can't be screwing around. You see, it's funny, you'll see these outtakes on film and stuff. Oh, they're just joking around and stuff. No, well, they're so good that they can maybe joke around, or you do fuck up, but you still, like, if you're a bad actor, keep fucking up, then they're like, we'll never use this guy again.
Yeah, this guy, you'll never work in this town again.
Not everyone hears that.
Not everyone gets like the Jim Carrey treatment, right? Where you can just do whatever the hell he wants on scene.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. But, you know, I'm sure in the budget, there's room for error in the budget, though.
I bet when DVDs started coming out, they started putting in a little bit of budget for that, because they're going to come out with the theatrical release and all that. Then you're going to release these crazy DVDs with all these outtakes or whatever.
Yeah. Or even like the extended long director's cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy
was
those.
there any? I was wondering if I had any outtakes from Paid in Full, but I can't think off the top of my head. Nothing major.
I don't even know if there's any deleted scenes on the DVD.
Did they add that audio in, like the screech, that you give out when you get shot in the ass? Is that
that's funny that's funny. Bogart, that's funny that you mentioned that, because I saw the scene. I was going to mention that. I was going to say I forgot. I was like, I actually that was me.
Oh, there you go.
I actually reacted, and I remember reacting. Oh yeah, I was like totally in the moment. That was actually real.
You're getting shot, and you're running for your life. Like,
yeah,
like you nailed.
So that part was easy to act.
Yeah,
you got me on that. I feel so much better now. That part I got down.
You nailed that.
Did they give you feedback? Like, I mean, when you said you did like 7 takes or whatever, when you had to get shot.
Oh, so did they give me feedback?
Yeah, like did they give you feedback on there, or was it just something you just did natural when you knew it was coming?
And was the
hold on.
They're shooting the blanks, obviously, too, right? So
yeah, shooting the blanks. No, but your question, did they give you feedback after every take?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, specifically on you getting shot, because like you're not really getting hit with anything. You got to just
right. Oh no, I think I got that. Oh, okay. Now I know what you're saying. No, I think I had that part down. That they never gave me feedback. Usually, if they say nothing, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he never ever said anything about, could you grunt a little louder or something. That part I had down. Thank goodness. I was worried about all that stuff before, but that part, yeah, they never gave feedback. So no feedback is good feedback.
Yeah.
And that's basically in film. If you hear nothing, that's a good thing. And even if you hear something, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you can make adjustments, then it's a good thing again.
Yeah, could be constructive.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like you're yelling at the dude because you didn't hear it. You know what I mean?
Marty gave an example, like grab your ass harder.
Well, my hands were bleeding, man, so that was enough. I was like, yeah. But hey, I said, no, I'll take it. It's good. Let's do another take. Let's go again. I'm good. Let's go. I was in a group, but I remember the last 2 or 3 takes, people were cheering and stuff. People were clapping and stuff. After you said cut, they're like, yeah, it's good. So
they knew
I was getting that energy. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I've never done a scene like that in front of like a neighborhood like that before. Yeah, so it was very cool. Interesting. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun overall.
It's kind of like theater. It's like a street theater
on film. Street theater on film. That's a good one, Bogart. Street theater on film.
Hey, I come up with these all day. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? Because that could be a thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you shoot it and you have a live audience. You know what I'm saying? So it's not live, but like if you get to catch there, because there is something about performing in front of people.
Yeah, exactly. True.
Like I always say, like when I do a show, I don't care if it's 50 or 5,000 people. Like I'm gonna rock it like it's 1 million people. You know what I mean? Because
you know that you get that one take. It's live. And if you mess up, you just keep going.
I mean, we do this show like this every day.
I see you guys.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought, let me see if he's on. Of course he's on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got
Of
one
course you guys
for
are
you.
on. Like he's walking around with his kid back and forth.
This is a good one right here. So, like,
Oh,
if you could,
watch.
how do I phrase this? Okay, if you could star in a biopic of your choice and you played the main role, who would it be based on?
Starting a biopic.
Yeah, like a biopic, or even if you didn't star in it, you directed it, perhaps. But like, is there a real life figure that you would love to play? You know what I mean? Like, their stories hella cool, and maybe their stories untold. Like, you know what I mean?
Good question, but I'd have to think about that one.
You could think about that and think about that one. You know what I mean? Because that one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that would be a good one.
And Marty said, any good shows or movies that you watched recently?
Recently, what did I watch recently? I've been watching these Christmas shows lately, but that's not really good. They're just
it's
cheesy Christmas shows. I got watching one last night because I actually knew the main actor from Men in Malibu. He used to eat my food and stuff. I go, hey, I know that guy. He's eating my food. He's in this playing a prince. This cheesy, those Christmas shows, the same theme. Mario Lopez was in one today. Remember Mario Lopez?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I just saw him in one. I go, hey, it's Mario Lopez.
That guy looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
He does look the same. I'm trying to think, what movies are just good? I did watch. I was watching The Tourist, but I didn't finish yet. I gotta watch the rest of it. I did watch a good one not that long ago. I'm trying to think, because I was saying that it was good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to come back to that question too.
Okay.
Because lately, I haven't watched many movies lately.
And Hess
one of
said,
my favorite movies is my favorite actor is Chris Walken. A lot of stuff he does.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite movies is the Deer Hunter. I'll give you that. Who asked the question? Is David? Your favorite movie to watch during the holiday season? Oh, okay. My favorite movie to watch during the holiday season, I'll tell you right now, It's a Wonderful Life.
There we
Jimmy
go.
Stewart. Jimmy Stewart. Now that guy stutters, and it makes it work for him, But the Deer Hunter. Have you seen the Deer Hunter? It's even before my time, back in the late 70s.
Yes, I've never saw it. Never saw it. I know I should.
I think you'd like it, Alex. Both of you. I think you'd like it. It's really intense with Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
They go to Vietnam. They get captured and stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of the most intense films I've ever seen.
Hey, Christopher Walken is legit, man. Because, you know what I mean? He's just like, there's whole levels, you know what I mean? Like, with the comedy and the real serious acting, like, he's legit.
Yeah,
absolutely, he is.
Yeah, because he was hilarious on SNL, too. Like, you know what I mean? When he...
That Close Range was a good one.
King of New York, King of New York, one of my favorites. With him for sure.
Hey guys, hold on 1 second. Let me grab my battery charger. It's a portable.
Yeah, do your thing.
My phone.
Sounds good.
Right,
yeah, and how about the scene in what's it called? The Quentin Tarantino one, the one that he didn't direct.
True
Romance.
True Romance.
Oh, True Romance. Yeah, that was a real good one.
What a scene with Walken and Dennis Hopper.
Oh yeah,
classic.
Oh yeah, outside the trailer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were in the trailer when they did it, when Dennis Hopper gave his big monologue.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in the trailer. Okay, right.
Oh yeah, when he laid history about the Moors. You know what's funny is that, like, because of that, I went and did my due diligence, and like, yeah, I found that the Moors were awesome, bro. Like, they basically like took over the world in a good way at one point. You know what I mean? Like, when I say a good way, is because they didn't come through and conquer, and they came through and like, like boosted economies and shit. Like, it was like, you know what I mean, legit. And best believe they went to war if people didn't, you know what I mean, because people are unruly, you know what I mean. But yeah, the Moors were interesting. But I'm all from True Romance, because I didn't know about the history at all about the Moors until, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But let's see if there's some truth behind this.
Yeah, he gave us a little history lesson on that, didn't he?
Right?
Yeah, especially since
quick.
Quentin writes his own history.
Right.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and that you know, and I think Quentin said that he because it was like his mom's best friend's brother, right? So like his uncle. You know what I mean? And he was the one I was telling, man, the Moors, man, you know, the Moors, they took over the world. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, word, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that shit was true.
Yeah.
They don't teach you about that shit when we were growing up. You know what I mean?
No.
I think we're
No,
good.
they teach you
It
about the
should-
Spanish
I'm sure it's charted.
conquistadors. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only other non-Anglo-Saxon shit they
Oh, did I
taught
take
us was
any?
the Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah,
Back. I think we're
Marty
good. I
asked-
think it, Alex.
Okay, yeah, you sound good. And Marty said, "Did you take any acting classes?"
Yeah. Got to Toronto. I remember my agent Maria at the time. She said, "Yeah, we can get you some classes, get you some, so you start acting other than just doing commercials." And I got into. I remember an acting teacher was named Miriam Lawrence. It was a Strasbourg technique. It was kind of, the sense memory work. You stand up in front of the class and tell everybody how you feel, and it's kind of nerve-wracking, especially for your first acting class. I mean, I did acting as a kid, but not like classes like that, right? So I remember doing that class for about a couple months, and she was one of the top acting teachers in Toronto at the time. And then I got I signed up with this acting troupe, so I did theater. I did that for about a couple years, and then took some commercial, classes on how to do commercials and stuff. Even though I was doing commercials, but just to kind of network with casting and stuff like that. They do these symposiums and stuff like that. And then, and I remember, once I started getting some roles and stuff, I got tired of taking the classes. I wasn't doing the theater troupe anymore after 2 years or so. We did about 3 or 4 plays publicly. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, I met him in this acting, it was like a group, we'd read scripts once a week. It was going nowhere, but we thought it was like something. It was like some black organization of actors getting together. And nothing really came of it, but I met this guy, Lyric Benton there, close friend of mine now. And he's an actor, he does very well. He just shot a episode of Law and Order just last week. I don't know if it airs. But he was in all. Have you seen the Saw films?
Say it again.
Saw.
Have you seen the Saw film?
Oh yeah. The first 2, and then the rest kind of all get jumbled up for me.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Danny Glover was in the first one.
First one.
Yeah.
So then, in 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 4, Lyric, he's the black detective in there. Detective Riggs or something. Remember? I don't know if you remember him, but they hunt him down in 2, 3, and 4. He's the main guy. He's in a lot, and he's in 2. Then he's a lot.
So he's in that joint for real. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in there. They wanted to do, I think, 5 and 6 and stuff. But he said, "I'm good." He opted out. But he's doing well right now and stuff. I was over at his place last week, and then he just called me. I'm in New York now.
They're bringing it back, right?
Saw?
I think they're calling it like Saw 10, and it's supposed to be it's Saw X or whatever, right? And like, because it's supposed to be the 10th film, but oddly enough, it's supposed to be like a prequel, like between part 1 and part 2.
Oh man,
it's supposed to be like the events.
Just doesn't stop. It's like Jason, right? Friday the 13th. It goes on and on and on. I thought I ended at 5 or 6, and then it's 18 of them or something, right?
Hey, we legit had that conversation on the Halloween show. We were like, "Yo, they just kept. They're like, fuck it, we'll put him in space. Jason in space now." Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so go back to Lyric. Ask me about the acting. So it was me, Lyric. I remember Drew Nelson, another actor, and my buddy Lauren Hunchuk. All actors. We all got together. We said, "Listen, I'm tired of taking these classes. Let's just, I'll buy a camera. We'll just do scene work Monday through Friday for 3 hours every day. We'll just nail it, and we'll start working. And we'll help each other out with auditions and stuff." So I started doing that for a couple years, and that's when I started landing the roles. And what we did, we would do a scene. Okay, hey, Larry, I got an audition. Come and help me out. He'd come over. And it's funny, he's Jamaican. Like he was always on time. I was, man, this guy is like early. And it was funny because Jamaicans, they call it Jamaican time. They'll tell you this Jamaican time. They're always late for stuff, right? And this guy's like, yeah, come over to my place for noon. He'd be there like 11:45. And what are you doing? Like, you're early. All right, but he was like serious. And then it totally paid off. When we started doing it ourselves, it just paid off. And we would critique each other and say, well, do it this way, do it that way. And by the time we went into audition with the casting, we already hashed it out and ripped each other apart. And then so the audition wasn't even that hard because we already auditioned amongst ourselves, right? So
and really what you guys
difference.
Yeah, and really what you guys are doing anyway is just getting the reps, whether it's in class or you guys doing it yourself, right?
Repetition.
Yeah, absolutely. So the class, here's what the problem. Classes are great, like at least to start. But the thing is, you get in these big classes, you don't get up. You're watching. You're spending most of the time watching other actors. You're not doing it.
Yeah.
You're spending hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So like we want to do it. We want to do it every day and play it back. And then you get your tape. You do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. You don't even play it back because you're barely up. So this way we kept doing. We're on each other and we kept doing it. And that's the way to go. I think you got to take it into your own hands. You know.
Awesome.
So you're not just in class, and then when you're outside in the real world, everything's a friggin' scene.
Yeah.
You start moving and walking different. You start doing things on your own. Your teachers are cool. I never really was into hanging everything on a teacher. Like it was, this teacher's great. And there's so and so. It's like, they've just been studying longer than me. Let's just study as long as they did. You know, they're teaching. They're not acting anymore. They're teaching. Why are they teaching?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not into like worshiping the teacher. I want to know that. I want to build the art form itself.
Yeah.
If a teacher can bring that light bulb, then it's just the way they spoke. It's not really them. You know, it's like you can't really believe your own hype either. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned that too, like with my family and my cousins and stuff. They say like, I'm just waiting or working towards my next gig, right? And then to them, it's like, no, you didn't pay the full shoes, right? And I'm like, well, I'm just trying to pay my rent and get my next gig and everything.
Yeah.
But then I have to. And I started, but then I found myself, I couldn't do that because it ruins the almost like a fantasy for them. If I downplay, it's almost a little insulting. Kind of like when the guy asked for the autograph, like, you got to play along with it. To a certain point.
Yeah.
And not rain on their parade, right?
I mean, it's the allure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the allure. Like, man, what's it like in Hollywood? Like, you know what I mean? Like they want to know because it's just not something they're around. You know what I mean? Yeah,
true. So you kind of have to just enjoy it with them, even though you're thinking of something else about your next gig and stuff, or I don't know.
Because they're not thinking about the process, right? Like
no, they see the end result. You're right. They see the end result.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So they don't understand the process and or even just how there's regular life stress that's attached to it. Like, man, like you said, man, I got to get this gig and this and that. Then getting the gig and then pulling it off and you know what I'm saying? And then hoping it gets seen. And you know what I mean? Like there's levels to it, but as consumers, especially in a day and age where there's so much content, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just content being pumped. Like, I'm pretty sure it's more saturated than ever with the younger actors trying to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, saturated too. Also, there's a lot of opportunity too. You got like Hulu, you got all these channels.
Yeah.
All these networks and stuff. So
yeah,
I think it's good for actors right now. I think now you're auditioning on iPhone. You're sending an audition tape. It's not tapes anymore.
But that's what I'm saying.
Online.
But that's what I mean. Like it's beneficial for the young actors. You know what I'm saying? Like in that sense, right? In that sense, because because it is saturated on the flip side. There's so much content, so many networks, so many independent joints. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I'm sure you got a few. I'm sure you have a few bullshit stories about you having to travel across town for an audition or something. That there's got to be, and now no one even has to deal with any of that, right?
Yeah, they don't. They don't. and you can actually, man, I had a friend of mine. He was like working production, auditioning just on his break with his iPhone, and then you just send it in, right? You never do that before. You have to go into casting and you'll sign your name in. And you wait there with a bunch of other actors in the holding room, all quiet.
I guess any way these networks can save, or these companies and networks, whatnot, any way they can save money, they're going to go for it. And it's also, and that's a form of it, right? Because now you don't got to hire. I mean, you don't got to have a building or facility for that per se. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
Did most of that change during COVID, or was this already like a change that was happening years before it?
No, it changed just because of that. It changed because of the pandemic. I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah, that's why. And it's, for me, getting back into business is great, right? Because all that stuff that you played, right? All that used to be on VHS.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that was
on VHS.
And were you mailing it around, or is it something that you were that you're passing out? But all mailing.
Yeah,
right?
I had big tapes and stuff. Yeah, I did all that. But so what I did kind of fairly recently, maybe 2 to 3 years ago, I took all my footage, put it on a thumb drive. I had to pay this production facility to do it. I had to give them all. I'm living in LA, and all my stuff is in Toronto, right? So I said, Lauren, he's got my friend's got all my stuff. I said, can you take all my stuff to this production house or whatever it is that transfers all the stuff that's on tape onto digital?
Yeah.
So I did that. I don't cost me over $1,000 and all that. It was expensive. And I got a lot of footage. And I'm getting him. And then all the movies and stuff that was on VHS, I said, it's transferring over so I have them digitally.
Yeah.
And it was worth the money. And I got work from it. From putting my demo reel, redoing stuff. Then I had to rehire my demo reel guy to edit my new, well, it wasn't new footage, but it was new footage for my demo reel.
Yeah.
So I had to get him to do a re-edit. And that cost like another $600 on top of that. But it's an investment.
Yeah.
So I had to transfer all that over.
And everything needs to be digital. And I mean, now once you get it there, it's there forever, right? And then it's just kind of moving it around, maybe re-editing the reels.
Yeah, now it's so easy. Like you just get email, like I said to you. I mean, it's so accessible now, right?
Yeah.
So a producer or director, whatever, wants to see your stuff. It's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
It's funny because I used to work for an online magazine, right? And
Nelson went into the Matrix.
Yeah. It happens. It was funny too, because there was a couple times like, it's gonna take him. It finally got him right there.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Well, and if not, either way, we're good.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome getting to hear some of these behind the scenes stories.
Yeah. Because and I love how
G Holy said what happened. Nelson went into the Matrix. I think he hooked up his phone charger, but maybe that was it. His phone probably died.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we get him back, but hopefully we'll get him back on another time in the future.
Yeah, because also, man, I definitely wanted to. I was trying to find a way to segue, but the stories were cool, man. But I wanted to segue into.
Here you go.
There he is. Yeah.
Okay. Remember I said I had a battery issue?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it to go. I thought it was charging. The battery is on there, but it's not strong enough, I guess. So I'm plugged in now. But I'm over here in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well,
I'll just have to hold it like this or something.
So we wanted to make sure you let us know a little bit about I know you guys got the business where you're making the pastries and you're just making these different like what do I call them, like snack size joints, like you know what I mean, like just tell us about that.
Yeah, I was doing the vegan stint for a bit. I just stopped eating meat and dairy. I don't really think my health wasn't doing that great. Nothing major, but I thought I'm not feeling that well. I work out a lot. So I'm really in tune with my body. So I said, maybe I don't have to eat this. Maybe this meat is making me feel like not that good or whatever. So I looked at just healing stuff and went online and stuff. And people say, oh yeah, the green juice and plants and all this stuff is healthier than eating meat and stuff. So I kind of fell for it. So I did that for a while. Then I was so into it, I got into making products. I was making this raw ice cream for a bit and sold that in some major stores here in LA. And then I ended up doing these falafel burgers. Those took off. I had employees and everything. And then I got a deal. I trademarked the company, and I sold my trademark, and this guy bought it and wanted me to my food at this new juice bar that he bought and wanted me to oversee that. I did a contract for like a year or something, and that fell through. But I finished my stint on that. I sold him my trademark and stuff, and then I ended up making some new stuff. I said, yeah, if I'm gonna get back in the game, I can't be doing this fresh food, so I'm gonna try doing some dehydrated goods, like the stuff that I sent you guys. It's gonna last like a month on the shelf.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's in these stores now, and like I said, it's a vegan product. Always will be, and I'll go back to acting. We'll see what I do with it in the future.
I want to try some of these cookie dough truffles that you sent. Let me go grab them. They're right here in the freezer.
Yeah, and you know what?
You got yours, Alex, too, right?
Yep, I'm gonna do the same thing. Let me go grab those out of the freezer real quick. Here we go.
Yeah, so tell us the name of these products and where they can find them, even if it's locally, just to let the people know.
Yeah, they're found in the Los Angeles area. At Lassen's Market, there's 3 of them. There's actually 10 of them, but there's 3 of them in LA. The rest spread out throughout California. Oh, you got those truffles, yeah.
Yeah. Put it in the freezer.
Untapped package.
Yeah.
And there's a place called Follow Your Heart. You can get them. That's in the Valley. And there's a juice bar up on Sunset Boulevard, a super juice, cane juice.
Oh, that's fire.
Spot, yeah. And then and Co-Opportunity in Santa Monica. They sell my product too.
I ain't gonna lie, this thing's smack right here.
So I liking it, boys.
That thing smacks.
It's good. And G Holy says, as long as it's vegan.
Who said that?
G Holy.
Oh, G Holy. Okay.
He says, as long as it's vegan.
Oh, G Holy. Yeah. He's my boy off of Instagram. He's a rapper too. The guy's a good rapper. I heard Bogart. I heard you're a rapper too.
I like
Bogart. My brother was telling me that.
I like the term artist. You know what I mean? But yeah, I make rap music. You know what I mean?
Artist. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, because you know what I'm saying. It's something you said earlier that resonated with me. Where like when you said when you got with your boy and you're just doing the reps, and you're like, man, we're just gonna do what we want to do what we like, have fun with it. You know what I mean? That's just basically how I've been approaching music in the past couple of years. You know what I mean? Because for a while, like I was making music I liked, but I was also trying to cater to like, you know what I mean, whatever was going on at the time, so I could like, you know what I mean, so I could perhaps get out there in the mainstream. Like and I was like, man, I'm just gonna do what I like to do now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's basically what I've been doing my whole life. It's been dancing to beat of my own drum anyway. You know what I mean? Pun intended.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I can tell. Are you munching on that truffle too? You eating the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
I know you got the truffles, Alex.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was good.
Oh, I think it's fire. My girl said don't eat it all. She might try one.
I know at first you thought that she snatched it, huh?
I was mad. I was looking at the freezer like, man, what you doing?
Man, I've heard stories with couples fighting over my food. I was like, what? Some serious fights. People hiding food like behind in the fridge, in the back of the fridge and stuff.
What's that? That's like the coconut flakes in there too, or something.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
fire.
the shredded coconut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Quite a few celebrities buy my stuff. I was making food for let's see, Eric Benet and Keith David. I was making food for him for a bit. That actor.
Hey, Eric Benet is crazy because I don't know if this is true, right? Hold on, because this is like rumor shit, right? Back in the days, like before the internet and whatnot. Like, well, not before the internet, but like just back in the days, right? So I heard Eric Benet, he got caught having a threesome, you know what I'm saying? And Halle Berry was like, so she left him or whatnot. But then he tried to tell her like he was a diagnosed nymphomaniac. So this was just,
well, that was public. Yeah, that was publicized. I remember
that was publicized, right? So that was true.
That was publicized. I don't know if it was true, but it was publicized as that. I didn't believe it because they
No,
They like
because I
to
was
make the guys look bad.
That's the coolest like excuse. Like, listen, a therapist told me I'm a nymphomaniac, baby. I can't. And I'm Eric Renee. I got the singing, and then it's just one thing led to another. Now I'm having a threesome. Baby, you want to join like that?
I never heard about the threesome, but I think on Oprah it was talked about on Oprah about the sex addict part. Yeah, that was on. I think that was on
That's a
Oprah.
real
It was
thing.
like it was on news. It was mainstream news. But people knew. I mean, I knew Eric Benet before from his music stuff, but a lot of people that didn't know his music knew him because he was married to Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
In the early 2000s.
Eric Benet is so dope.
He's a cool dude. Very nice guy. I've never really had any problems with any celebrities, though. I can think of.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe a couple. They're all, they're not all nice, but you can't be nice all the time, right?
So I've met like several. Like I told you, at one point I worked for a magazine, and so I met hella artists, and like I always had weed. So like most of the time, like when I got to meet the artist before like the interview or whatever, I'd be like, "Hey, you want to smoke?" You know what I mean? And like, cause back then a lot of times these artists wouldn't smoke on camera. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'd always ask them first. And if I already knew the artist smoked on camera, I seen prior interviews, I would just bust it out. You know what I mean? But like, so like the vibe was always cool. But then I've met some artists, like when I met Diddy, it was my boy doing the interview, and we're being viewed as media. So he was a total dick. You know what I mean? And I'd imagine maybe he is cool, but like the first time I met him, I was like, dang, he was a dick to us. You know what I mean? Because we're media. It's like a media day. He's doing like back-to-back interviews, like these little 15-minute like fucking impersonal interviews. You know what I mean? And we were next, and we were like probably like the fifth or sixth that that already had went. So it was like he was just like not even looking our way. He's like getting makeup done, sitting in a chair. You know what I mean? Like, but I would imagine, you know what I mean? Because it's the view. He was, we're media. You know what I mean? And versus like if I would have met him in a different aspect.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like just mostly, especially for you, you're an actor, so like how it could be when you meet someone that's established and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like to not just be like riding their John. You know what I mean? Like they're regular people too at the end of the day. In that sense,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You got to be very careful with that.
I like how you said
water.
you want to destroy the allure, though.
Was that
for people like when you said like your friends and family would be like, oh man, what's it like? And you'd be like, you don't want to tell them it's just like a regular job to you. You know what I mean? You don't want to like,
can't,
yeah,
can't
like,
do that. It's supposed the party.
for real though,
right? But it is cool though. It is cool. It is like not your average thing to do. That's true. It may not be as glitzy as they think.
Yeah, especially for, I mean, everyone, I guess California is just so much different. Maybe California and New York just seem so much different, maybe just faster paced. So for people who aren't around that area, yeah, it's like Hollywood. It's like the glitz and glamour. And then you go to some areas around Hollywood and you're like, man, this not as glitzy and glamoury as like everybody really says, but still it's Tinseltown.
It's more sketchy.
I think everybody's in shape here, right? Everybody's in shape, but no, far from the truth.
Yeah. I mean, because everything you see, it's only the prettiest women in the movies and the TV shows, is all the background extras and all that. So as I'm assuming that's
like when we used to be running out there around in Hollywood, because they had like the Capitol out there and the little Universal. So like we'd be out there, like I'm saying, it's funny because like any waitress or waiter, or you know what I mean, in any of those restaurants or Starbucks or coffee shops, wherever in that area, everybody is some type of aspiring something, actor, musician, actress. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get, because you got to be around there. You know what I mean? You can't. Not everybody's Matthew McConaughey, where he was just like, I think this story goes, he was just like, he worked at a restaurant, he was serving somebody that just happened to be like an agent. You know what I mean? Like just flying through and just eating at a restaurant, and just thought he might be great in this role. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I wonder about those stories, though. I don't know about
As
that.
legend has it.
Sounds
Well,
too
you
perfect.
know what I mean? We all heard that Brad Pitt was in a chicken suit outside El Pollo Loco or one of those places.
For real, I never
It's like,
heard that one.
maybe
I
he
love
was,
those
but
stories.
there's other. Yeah, I think they're embellished for the most part, but
I want them to be true. Don't
I think he did do the chicken suit because I've
tell
heard
me
that from different
lies.
sources. I didn't hear from different sources, so the chicken
He
suit
was in
could
a
be true
chicken
about him.
suit. I never heard that one. That's awesome. Look at him now. Has
And
kids
Minnesota
and
Marty
It's
says,
out there.
he said, peace out. Y'all see you tomorrow. Nice interview, Nelson. Hope to see you back on the channel sometime. Appreciate you, Minnesota Marty.
I'll have to come back, Marty. Thanks for the questions, man. They're good.
Yeah, G. Holy said, nobody is nobody in LA. Yeah, everyone's a somebody, at least in their own mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, G Holy.
especially with
Props to G.
in the day
Holy.
and age, you got social media, like, you know, like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Everyone has their own it's like their own little mini reality shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I turned G
hell
Holy
yeah.
onto your channel though. Told him to come on by and he did. I like that. Give him
Yeah, man.
props.
Shout out to Gioli, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was here, I think, pretty much the whole time. So, yeah. We appreciate you
Absolutely.
coming on, Nelson, sharing all your stories, sharing your time.
Absolutely, man. I'll do it
What-
again if we I don't know, whatever topics you want, you know.
Man, we gotta bring you on some of these movie reviews we doing. We be doing like classic movies. We doing like, you know what I mean? We do all kind of just stuff stuff that's nostalgic to us. We'd love to bring you on one of these days, because even sometimes it'll be a movie that I've never seen, so I gotta go watch it, or something I haven't seen in a minute and I gotta rewatch it, and then it's
that'd be
cool.
cool. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
I'd do that. That'd be cool. Yeah, and sometimes like I've studied acting enough where it's like, okay, I can tell in a scene where it's not scripted. For instance,
See, that would be tight.
Yeah,
like, you know, you said I can tell the writer did not write that. I can tell the actor did it on their own. There's certain things that sometimes you pick out as an actor that otherwise you wouldn't notice as a viewer. You know,
Just
Yeah.
like
little things like that.
yeah, because like I always wanted, like my lady, she's a nurse, and like when we're watching stuff that's like like, you know, watching where it's like a scene with like doctors or whatever, or like nurses, like she always nitpicks when they're doing shit incorrectly. You know what I mean?
Oh right, yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Like she's like, oh my god, look at the way they're doing the incision, or look at the way they're doing the IV. That's totally incorrect. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause you know what I'm saying? Like, you want, you know, what is it called? You want things to be authentic, right? You want to feel like you're engulfed in this movie and this is the reality, and you know what I mean? And
Oh, for sure,
for
yeah,
me-
and that's what they do. Continuity and all that stuff.
yeah, and like for me, if the acting is shitty, or at least shitty to me, because everything's subjective, you know what I mean? I can't watch certain things. I'm like, this is, but sometimes, and a lot of times actually, it's so bad that it's good. You know what I mean? I can't.
Yeah, have you watching those C movies or those D movies?
Hey, those are so good because they're so bad. You know what I mean? That they're so good.
Yeah, yeah, I like those. It's those like I used to watch. Was it Degrassi or something, like the old Degrassi? You go, man, it's so bad, but then you find yourself, you watch the whole season.
That's the one that Drake was on.
Yeah, but I watched the one before that. I never watched the one that Drake. I've seen the one Drake one,
Okay.
but I'm the one before
That's
it.
right, because Drake was like the new class or whatever, like it
Right.
was like the reboot.
And the ones before was my age group, and I used to audition with those guys later on.
That's right, because that's
I remember
like a
auditioning with
Canada
those guys, and I remember watching them on TV.
Yeah, Degrassi was like
Yeah.
the Canada's like 90210 type of shit.
Exactly, it was.
Yeah.
Except it seemed more raw, it seemed more real.
I mean, it was like that was the closest look at Canada I ever got, being an American.
Yeah, did you watch the show?
I just remember the Drake
right?
one, because like I went down the rabbit hole, because when Drake started getting popular, I was like, hey, I've seen that kid on the show, you know what I mean? Because they used to syndicate that show on like one of these like the UPN or WB, one of them motherfuckers back in the day.
That's where I saw it. I saw it here like a few years ago, not that long ago. It was on.
Yeah, it was. I was watching like it syndicated like back in
2015
like
or something.
2010 or 11. And
Yeah,
it
I
was
think I
so
saw it around
bad.
2015 or so. Yeah, 2014 or something like that.
It was so bad, it was good. And you know what's crazy? That's why it doesn't. I I hate Drake's music because it's just not my type of music. I hate using the word hate, but it's just because, like I said, everything's subjective. So that's how I view his music, right? But like I can tell why he's killing the game now because like he was a decent actor, and like I mean, if you could always play a role and play it solid, you know what I mean, and you're really good at doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, especially with music, because he can constantly change his sound and
true.
you know, read between the lines, as in like he can just mimic people's sounds that are popular, and he'll never go away. You know what I mean? He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's where it comes in handy. Him
Yeah.
and the Weeknd. Those guys come out of Toronto, right? The Weeknd,
Yeah.
biggest guys
I
right
love
now.
The Weeknd. The Weeknd is dope, bro.
Yeah.
He's so dope. Like that's man, yeah, he's dope.
Oh, Alex, I just remember I was going to tell you that one story.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
The supernatural stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's my thing. I'm into that stuff.
Okay, yeah, because
ghost hunters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I remember this is like in 2001 or so. My boy I mentioned before, Lauren, another close friend of mine, actor as well. He's done a lot of TV stuff. So Lauren, it was a Friday night. I went to see this concert. Stevie B of all people. Ever Stevie B?
Yeah, hell yeah. Spring
Stevie B.
love, come back to me. Hey, I love Stevie B. Freestyle music's my shit. I was like,
yeah, he's got some good stuff out of Miami, right?
Yeah, because my older sister's like 9 years older than me, so like you know what I mean, like that was the shit they were on, you know what I mean, in the early 90s and the late 80s, you know what I mean, the freestyle music and
she's about my age then. I'm about your sister's age then.
Yeah, it's like bro, was it like Debbie Deb and Lil what's her name, Susie? Down there's all kind, man. Stevie B, like that whole genre,
in my eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I see this concert was a Friday night.
One more time.
Yeah.
Hey, Stevie B had some joints, man.
He did a lot of love ballads, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I'm driving back. I call Lauren up. I go, Lauren, what are you doing? She said, I was just chilling at the crib. I'm just leaving this concert, but I'll see you on the way home. He's kind of on the way, but he was in the north end of Toronto. I was in uptown, so just take a right, just kind of chill out. So it was around midnight, 12:30 or something. The concert kind of ended early, and he lived in this house with 3 other dudes. And then so you guys would have loved this house. I go in, it's all billowy with smoke.
Nice.
So we get in there. He's watching TV, and then one of his roommates on the couch is baked. He can barely like say hi. He's just like, hey. And then so we're talking, and the TV's on. So I'm sitting in the middle, right? And then to my right, Lauren's to my right, and then his roommate's on my left. And past Lauren is where I came in, the kitchen and the hallway and the bedrooms and stuff, right? So the TV's on, but no, I'm really watching it. But I'm talking to Lauren and stuff. He talked to his roommate a little bit, but mainly it was just talking to Lauren, looking at the TV, going back and forth. Then out of the corner of my eye, I see someone walking into his bathroom, going from right to left. So I go, hey, Lauren, are we almost here? Like, where's your other 2 roommates? Oh, they're downtown clubbing. I go, really? She says, yeah. I go, I swear I saw someone walking in the bathroom. She says, you did not. I go, I did. I was all serious. Yeah, no, I did. Seriously. Someone walked in the bathroom. So he gets up. He's a multi-degree black belt in Taekwondo. Taekwondo, right? And then he was not Mr. Tough Guy, but he's not really scared of stuff. He's half white, half Japanese. He was very more on the Japanese side. So he's very superstitious about stuff like that. And then so we creep into the bathroom. I didn't think we would find anything. And with Todd, I shot a film. Something happened on the film set, so I was like, kind of, I've seen some things before, so I was thinking, okay, something's going down. So we come back out of the bathroom. We sit down. He says, so what'd you see? I saw, just like this ago, I saw a tall, skinny man with a cowboy hat, a blue shirt, and a brown vest. And I didn't say this part, but I saw through the guy. I could see through him, right? Like it was like an apparition. It wasn't like a solid body. And then he goes, oh. And then he looks at the TV like it's nothing. I thought, okay, no big deal. Maybe I didn't see anything, right? I'm not gonna harp on it. He's gonna think I'm crazy, right? And then we get talking like nothing happened, like nothing even, like nothing ever happened, right? So, and that was that. And I leave, no, we hung out and stuff, talked about some other stuff. I go home, and then 2 weeks goes by, but we're talking within the 2 weeks here and there about stuff, right? And then so 2 weeks later, he calls me up. I remember. He goes, "Hey Nelson, remember when you were over the other night?" I go, "Yeah." You said you saw something. I go, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah, that freaked me out." I go, "Really? You didn't look freaked out. You didn't. You just stared right at the TV as if I didn't say anything." He says, "Yeah, because I was freaked out." He's all whispering and stuff. I was freaked out. She said, "I got to tell you this." He says, "I never told anyone this, but I'm sleeping with the light on for the last month." I go, "Yeah? Why?" He says, "I wake up to this guy in my room, and he comes towards. He's at the foot of my bed. He comes towards me. I blink my eyes, like he's still there. He's looking at me. He comes in with his hands towards my throat, and then he disappears as he gets to me. It's happened. He said it's happened twice, and the thing is, when what you saw is that guy." It freaked me out.
Yeah.
And the guy, and then he lasts another 3 weeks.
Him the confirmation.
So
he had already seen this dude.
Yeah,
thinking that he's dreaming, probably.
But then so you come to hang out, unbeknownst to you, because he just wants real company because he's scared.
Yeah.
And then like you see dude walk across, and you're like, "Yo, is that your roommate?" and you describe it to him, and he's just terrified right then and there.
Yeah.
He made it real.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps even telling every time I tell that story. When I get to the part.
See, I would have started doing the research already. Like, okay, there's got to be some kind of like cowboy strangler that was around. Kind of legend of the cowboy strangler or something like.
I don't know what was going on in the house, but the guy was angry. He did not want him there. He said, "Yeah." So he moved out 3 weeks. About 3 weeks later, he moved out, went back to his mother's, buying a house later. But he said, "I'm out of here. This is crazy." He said, "If I sleep with the light on, I won't see him. But like only when the lights are out, he kind of glows."
Crazy.
And then he sees it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man.
Hey, it's funny because like these are the things I think these are. Well, see, I'm Filipino, so like we grew up with all kind of shit like this. You know what I mean? Like,
I've heard of stories in the Philippines.
Bro,
My sister-in-law was Filipino. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these like the ridiculous type of shit. Like all the way down to like don't vacuum at night or sweep at night. You know, obviously sweep at night, but you know,
really?
Like, yeah, because it's like you're gonna stir up the bad spirits. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's like
I sweep every night.
No, but here's my thing though. Is I say that same thing to my girl, right? But I always say, well, you know what? It's if you believe in it, you know what I mean? If you believe in something, you're gonna put something to it. You're gonna put energy behind it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, there'd be some maids and some fucking. I mean, that would be scary, right? Imagine how late night maids and motherfuckers is mopping at night in hotels and shit like that. Like, they must have some stories. Right? If there's a
cleaning,
but see, these are really superstitions.
I saw that G-Holy. He's got stories too.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I started just earlier when you were talking about aberrations, right? I don't remember why, but I looked up that word the other day because I don't remember what it meant, and it's a vision or something that's unexplainable, but mostly unwelcomed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding. Because it freaks you.
So like when you described it with aberration, I'm like, oh, that was a bad cowboy. You know what I mean? Before you told him about they're coming up to strangle him. See, that's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's the part that gets everybody because you envision that happening to you.
Yeah,
and that's so everyone always reacts to that part.
Like we're gonna buy a house, right? And for a while we were looking at like pre-owned. I mean, not pre-owned, but like resale shits. And then we settled on, okay, we're gonna get a brand new joint because it was like, okay, I don't want anyone that had lived in this shit before and did something to the house. You know what I mean? Like for example, I have this cousin I remember he lived in the hood, and when he, we used to always stay at the house, and then he told, weird shit would happen at this house all the time, right? You know what I'm saying? And then then they started telling me the stories about the house before, like, yeah, when we first moved here, there was like a back shed, and we went back there and there was hell like gimp shit, like like S&M like shit, like whips and chains and shit.
Oh,
and then like the rooms were painted black. You know what I mean? So like, this is stuff they had to take care of when they first moved into the house. You know what I mean? And then then my older cousins that lived there, they started like tacking stories on, yeah, bro, there used to be like this fucking killer here, and there used to be seances, and you know what I mean? Like, and then it would be the little details of the stuff that was true. Like my aunt would like vouch for it. Yeah, when we first moved here, all the rooms were painted black. And then, and then he'd be like, I told you. You know what I mean? But all the other stuff he embellished on, we'd be like, fuck, like you'd be terrified to stay there, you know what I mean?
You can't sleep at night.
They would fuck with, they would gas us up, you know what I mean? Like we'd be sleeping, they'd be outside the window tapping in and shit, doing all kind of shit because we didn't heard all these stories, whether, you know what I mean? But then it was like, because of that, every little thing was. See, I was just telling Hustler this the other day, that I'm always looking for the logic. Like I was sitting here doing a pod the other day, and then I have this sheet that goes over my TV. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I got a big, nice TV, and you know what I'm saying? It's in my studio. I want to get dusty. So when I don't use it, put the cover on it. You know what I mean? Sensible human being, right? And my TV's not on the wall. So, you know what I'm saying? If it was on the wall, then I probably wouldn't have a sheet on it all the time. But anyways, the sheet wasn't on it. And this sheet's very light. And then, I'm in the studio, which is the garage, and it's a tandem garage, so it's fairly long. And the garage wasn't open. So there's not any reason for a draft or anything. And then just this sheet just moves, and it moves once. And I look, I'm like, what the fuck? Because I'm sitting here getting high and I'm doing my waivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was actually last Tuesday.
Oh, they said the sheet moved?
Yeah, so like, but here's the thing though, it's so light and I'm so high and I'm trying to find the logic. I'm like, I did walk by it, but why would it move like 30 seconds later? You know what I mean? And then when I looked at it, then I'm looking at it and it just slides off the little chair it was on. And I was like,
oh.
And I was just like, okay. And I'm looking around. Then I immediately go to mice because we've had mice problem here. I'm like, it's got to be a mouse then. Anything but a ghost.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? I'm like, it's got to be a fucking mouse. You know what I mean? But I've lived in this place for like 6 years. Nothing like that's never happened. And I hope I didn't just jinx it now. You know what I'm saying? It's just like.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Knock on wood. Bogart, knock on wood right now.
See, going back to what I was saying about when we're buying a house, that's why I wanted to buy something brand new. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
OCD. Right? I'm like, yeah, like we better not be buried. I ain't trying to be build a house over no old burial grounds or none of that shit. This better, you know what I'm saying? There better be some dinosaur bones in that motherfucker, if anything. You know what I'm saying?
I remember I lived
too many movies and have had too many experiences.
Poltergeist and stuff. That's when things are moving around like that. Telekinesis. We mentioned Edmonton. I lived there. We lived in this. Me and like 2 or 3 other guys lived in this old house, right? Mm-hmm. But there's always someone sleeping there. You sleep over. There's 4 of us. So there's always like someone there. But I remember everyone moved out. I was the last guy to leave. I had one night there on my own. I was like, man, I've never like slept in this place. It was creaky. One of those old houses we have the hot water heaters against the window, those old iron heaters.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like I was upstairs, it was all creaky. I was like, man, I don't know. This place, we thought it was haunted. It's so old. And so I had this one night by myself. The last night, I said, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the night. This is scary. But I fell asleep. I woke up. It was fine. Then I took a photo of the house from my mom to show her, and then I see it looked like there's something in the window, but it was just the shadow of the leaves. There's a tree in the front lawn, and then the way it looked like there's a face in the window. I was like, oh, ooh.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was like, man, that was there, but I think it was just the reflection of the shadows from the tree of the leaves. So,
well, you always, if I could find logic, I'll be good. That's good. You know what I'm saying? But like also, I've done DMT like several times, and like, you know what I'm saying, I've seen things and traveled places. You know what I mean? This shit's real, like, brother. You know what I'm saying? That shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit is for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's just all the senses and what's the word? Other lot of dimensional faculties that we don't see on this prism or spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So I think
mean,
there's
like,
more.
you have to have a different lens.
Yeah, the realm of reality is I think there's more going on around us that we can't really pick up. And I think it's very real, because if you think about a dolphin, right? A dolphin could surface and see people, humans, right?
Yeah.
But then he can go down deep into the water where those fishes can't see us. The dolphin can tell those fishes, hey, there's humans up above. They're like, yeah, whatever. Right? So it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So just because we can't see it on a regular basis,
It's a
we
great
look at
analogy.
these windows, these windows of these dimensional windows.
How I feel
Things
about
that kind
aliens.
of they weave into the fabric of our reality physically, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's one guy that used to talk about that was his lyrics. We look at the lyrics with remember Rush? Remember Rush?
Yeah.
The band Rush?
Yep.
The guy, the drummer, he wrote most of the lyrics.
Oh, word.
Phil Peart. And if you get there's one song, Mystic Rhythms. If you read the lyrics of that, he talks about stuff like this.
I mean,
It's glimpses of what's beyond and stuff like that. That's one of the lyrics in there. You know, sometimes we get a glimpse of what's beyond, just a moment, and then it's gone. It's like, what happened, right?
Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
he used to write all that stuff.
DMT will do it for you, man. I'm telling you. 5-MeO DMT, man. It's gotta be that.
Well, okay, I'll tell you one story though. We were shooting. Todd was just here. My friend, I co-produced a film with him. He was here a couple of weeks ago. Went to the Rams game.
Okay.
And we were talking about. We rented out this restaurant behind my place when I lived in Toronto. This is in 2000 before I moved to LA. And we had to rent it overnight, shoot the film. And you still there, Alex?
Yep. I'm
Okay,
here.
okay. You shoot the film. So he's shooting the film with the actors over on the far side with the pool tables and stuff, right? It's a restaurant, pool tables, and like a restaurant bar. Then there's a bar like in the middle. Then over on the far side, there's a makeup artist and another actress hanging out, and I was kind of sitting over there too. And then past there's a kitchen. There's a kitchen and another part of there's some dining area. So this is like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the manager, Ben, I remember, he was just over, he opened up the doors and was overlooking the whole production of the film. And then we're just kind of hanging out. And Todd had a different recount when we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago. You know how you have cutlery like in a jar, knives and forks and stuff? Sounded like someone picked it up and rattled it for about a second, maybe 2 seconds, and put it down. We all looked over to the kitchen where there's no one over there, right? And we looked over, like, oh, nothing. And Todd was like, hey, guys, quiet down. Hey, wait, we're not making noise. But I don't remember that part. But Todd remembers that. You guys making noise? We can't. We can hear it on the monitors, on the headphones.
Whoa.
And he goes, and then we thought nothing of it. And then a few seconds goes by. We hear the same rattle, but longer. And then we're like, whoa, there's like something over there. So me and Ben go over there, just like it was in Lauren's place. We're creeping into the kitchen there, right? You know, you've got the plates on wheels and stuff on the shelves.
Yeah.
They're on wheels. So I'm behind him. He goes in. I'm behind him. We're looking around. He goes, quick, go, 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 go. I was like, what? And we ran out of there. Like, what happened? He said, I heard it, but I didn't see it. He said, the plates, I saw the plates. They were sideways. Let's see, I'm going to go this way. They're sideways, like this. Then he saw the plates go like this, back.
Damn.
Back, straight. So the plates were on the edge kind of, and they slid back. I heard them, but I didn't see them. And he said, yeah, the plates. And he was freaking out. So it wasn't me, that wasn't me seeing things, man. So
and picking up the audio like through there, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was like we're on Ghost Hunters or something.
It's real when there's multiple people that see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Because otherwise, like,
crazy.
I couldn't determine, like, if I'm by myself, like,
yeah,
like, okay, look at this. So, like, growing up, it's so crazy because I just realized this right now. Like, we used to always go just for fun. You go to the Winchester.
Oh, I know the Winchester. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's in San Jose, I think.
Yeah, it's like the West Side ish. You know what I mean? Because I'm from the East Side of San Jose. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's like we would go there, and then they had like a little arcade attached to it, because it was an attraction. You know what I mean? People would go there, you take the tour, but like when this one year we went and we did the flashlight tour. I think I had to have been in high school still. Maybe it was a year out of high school. Either way, that shit was scary than a motherfucker.
Oh, it was. I see it on TV.
Because I've been there a million times as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I've been there with my family, been there on field trips. Like you would go on field trips to this shit, and you get a tour, and there'd be other schools there. It'd be like packed, you know what I mean? And that's why it wasn't that scary, because when you're there during the day, it's hella packed, you know what I mean? There's just and they're telling you all this, it's a tour, so that they're telling you the info, like, yeah, this is the room that she slept in, or this is the room that she died in, and she had all these different trap little compartments that went to, and doors that went to nowhere.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then what's funny is that they made a movie about it not too long ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago at this point. And
really?
never seen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, but it was all super CGI, and you know what I mean. And then they obviously did like the ghost demon approach, because Winchester, that was a motherfucker that manufactured guns, and so that dude, he was, he thought he was haunted by all the, it was probably, he probably had a moral dilemma, you know what I mean, but it drove him crazy that he claimed to be haunted by all the souls of men that died from his guns, you know what I mean? So like
I heard there's something behind it, but I didn't know specifically what it was.
Yeah, so like that, it drove him like mad. I'm probably butchering the story, but then she, the widow takes
she carried
over.
on. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then she's mad haunted, you know what I mean? But then there was also like stories from like maids that worked there and said that like they would see the husband's ghost all the time. And like she would be there talking to him, and you know what I mean? But she was clearly crazy. And like when you're walking through the mansion, there's like staircases that like spiral, and they get smaller and smaller, like the cabin and thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, because this is like, she would have all these elaborate ways of getting to the main quarters, because she felt like she had to like, turn all these different corners and lose the ghosts. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's why she did all those trap doors and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, so there'd be like doors that went to nowhere, like, or doors that'd be straight up like, boom, you're looking outside. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, there's a door. There's a door in the wall that you'll fall outside. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a crazy way to live.
That's a crazy way to live. Loaded, so it's like, there was maids that lived there, so it was like countless people that that had encounters and like stories, and because when the movie came out, they then like they came out with like a documentary about the real shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, whoa, like, damn, we used to go there all the time. You know what I mean? Then,
like
they had a merch store that sold trolls. You remember trolls? Like they had a merch store that sold like trolls and fucking, and they had an arcade there where like they had Street Fighter and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, you know what movie I just saw? We were talking about movies and stuff. I just saw Leprechaun in the Hood. That was funny. I just saw that a couple nights ago to answer David's question.
Oh, shit, that shit it's so bad.
Leprechaun
it's
good. Exactly.
It's totally so bad it's good.
Oh, it's all done in LA too.
Hell yeah.
It's hilarious. That's a good movie. I just saw the last couple of days. There we go.
That was one place that Jason wouldn't go. He'd go to Mars in New York, but he wasn't going to the Hood though.
Hell no.
Oh, exactly. Right. Even Jason knew.
Hey, they will shoot Jason up, bro.
They would be afraid of Jason. They'd be like, "What you doing with that silly goalie mask on? What's wrong with you, man?"
Hey, they would just shoot him up, bro.
Of course, in that line, the guy said there's something about his Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
The leprechaun is your Lucky Charms. Get out of here. He's ripping out hearts and stuff. Ripping off of legs.
He was on there rhyming. Yeah.
Oh man.
He pulled up on the bike. He was on the Schwinn. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. On that
what
note,
a night, guys. What a night.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Nelson, coming on. I'm glad that we got to mix in, get the stories in at the end, because I totally forgot about
now I'm
that.
all scared.
We got so into everything else, I totally forgot about that part that we were supposed to bring up.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, that's another podcast in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah.
Supernatural, unexplainable podcast type shit.
Yeah, we might have to get
two stories. I got more of them. All these crazy time slip matrix glitches and stuff. But
Hey,
another
we want
time.
it.
Yeah,
We
man,
want-
another time.
You're talking my language, man.
We want to hear more. We want to hear more. We definitely want to get you back on again because yeah, this was fun. Yeah, maybe we need to get G Holy on here with us too. He said he's got a bunch of stories also.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'd be great to have him on. That guy's dope. He's cool.
And
Dan, he's got a
you know,
podcast too. Or at least he was doing something with that.
okay.
So he's your fellow man, Alex.
Yeah, all right. We'll link up, G Holy. And
Good
before
night,
we
G
get
Holy.
out of here, Nelson, you want to tell everybody where to follow you at? Any websites or anything they should go to? Just anything we got to tell them about.
Yeah, just everything is on Instagram. Just Nelson Tynes _. But if you just put Nelson Tynes, it'll come up.
Yeah.
What I had Nelson Tynes, and then somehow I lost the password. I couldn't put Nelson Tynes. I had to go Nelson Tynes _ on my own name.
It happens, man.
Yeah, right.
That happened to me on Facebook like 10 years ago. I don't remember my Bogart Scott Free joint. So, and somebody done lifted it already and changed and remixed.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Like my original Facebook from years ago. Like, yeah, somebody jacked that shit. It was weird.
Crazy.
Good night,
Song
you. Yeah.
Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Wonder where Song
AJ.
is.
He's he's someone who follows our channel. He's always rocking with us, fantasy football stuff, and yeah.
Because you guys you have some guys out of the country, don't you?
Oh yeah, we have some.
That one guy was in Germany or something.
Germany and
today?
Serbia,
Panama,
Panama,
all kind of Canada, Panama, Mexico. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so Nelson Tynes on Instagram, TYNES, as you can see on the screen there.
Yep, just like it is on the screen. There we go.
That's my holy ground.
There we go.
It is right there.
Go follow him. Tap
I'm on
in.
Facebook. I've logged in twice on Facebook. I'm not a Facebook guy, really.
Yeah, I like Instagram. Me too.
It's a lot better.
But you'll get me up to speed, huh? Alex, you'll help me out.
Yeah, we'll get going on all
Get
that.
me current.
Here we go.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate you, Nelson. Appreciate everyone who watched and tapped in. We'll see you guys tomorrow because we got a bunch more shows coming tomorrow. See you guys.
Yeah, thanks,
later.
guys, and thanks to the chat too.
For
Keeping it
sure,
lit.
man. Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Good night, guys.
All right, peace
Night,
out,
man.
everybody.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Peace.